something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillar. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you're not going to have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course you do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, we are back with another interesting episode. Today, we are going to be covering another installment of low value rage. Okay. And I do want men to really attach to this particular concept, because it shows in so many ways and so many women. But we are dealing with low value rage when a woman has to live with their choices. Okay. That puts a lot of women, whole lot of women, into low value rage, y'all. It's just something that comes on women that they get mad and angry at a lot of us. Not for something we did to them, something they did for themselves. But they get mad when they have to live with their results. Not our results. They gotta live with their results. But before we go too deep into this, first of all, let me give a shout out to all the people who come through on a regular basis and give me views that make up the family right here. Thank you for being here and doing what you do. Shout out to all the people who leave comments after the stream, because that does help with the algorithm. Helps grow the channel. It's a play. I can see some interesting thoughts. And I do actually try to get to them and respond, which I'm always try to do. Also, shout out to the people who hype me up every chance they get, y'all. I know you can only hype up so much, but I'm going to say, hey, for me, at least say me once a week, y'all. At least say one of them for me once a week. Come back, did it through. Man, hype a brother up. That's all I'm saying. Hype a brother up. And shout out to all the people who hit that like button. There's no reason to not hit the like button. Now, there's no reason not to hit the like button. If you really rock with me, make sure you hit that like button. And that's real talk, okay? And let me give a shout out to some of the first people to check in this morning. Because you know what? Before I even say that, first of all, shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty. The people who put a little money to the scene, because y'all helped me out a great deal, and I appreciate each and every one. And I'm going to give a special shout out to Andrew B. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Yes, y'all, no matter who you are, all money on the wood is good. Whether you do it once, whether you do it 100 different times, all money on the wood is good. So shout out to Andrew B. You are the sponsor of today's stream. I appreciate you very much, my brother. Appreciate you very much. And now, let's give a shout out to some of the first people to check in this morning, because it's always good that when you start the show that you got people rocking with you. And I don't know what to tell y'all. He's done it again, y'all. He's done it again. Y'all better get like this, man. Get your Highlander on the stream on. So shout out to the Highlander of today's stream. Once again, I don't know how he's doing it, but it's my main man, Trail Billy, has done it again, representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. We got I'm listening. Follow him right through at the cool table. We got my main man Floyd Thompson here checking in. Great to see you. Yay, yay. We got Bronk in the house. Good to have you, brother. Good to have you. Emerald Edge is at the scene. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. We got Gitmo 615 in the building. Great to have you, brother. Bucket has checked in. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. We got Afro Merchant at the cool table. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Inspired Truth Broadcast is in the house. Shout out to you. Superstar Jay Quick is at the cool table. We know we're going to have a great show with him here. And we got Brother John in the building. Y'all, it's about to be good. It's about to be good. And there we go. Dr. Dizzle stepping in. Glad to see you, my brother. Glad to see you. And shout out to I Am Jermaine. What's good, my brother? Salute. Glad to have you. Glad to have you, y'all. We about to get started. Now, I know some people may thought I should be talking about something else today. Man, I ain't even really seen it yet. I ain't had a really good time to sit down and see it. I'm just going to say that. I ain't going to even say what it is. Y'all ain't got to say what it is. But I ain't really had a good time to really sit down and see that thing. So, can't really talk about it if I ain't really seen it. It's been a hectic weekend for me. You know, I hope everybody had a great weekend. You know, maybe not as hectic as mine was. Unless you like money. Because I was getting money. So if you like money, I hope it was as hectic as mine. And that's real talk, okay? Shout out to you, bro. I see you, brother. So I'm going to deal with something that came through, y'all. I came across a Crimson Cure video. Now, I've said many a time, and I ain't going to shy away from it, I don't think men should be listening to women like that. I don't even think women should be listening to women like that when it comes to certain things. You know, maybe you can listen to them on some biblical stuff, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what you really could listen to them at for the most part. I'm just going to keep it like that. There is a reason I say on a regular basis that men are supposed to be leaders, protectors, and providers, because they should be. Okay. But now women can have little niches that they're good at, but a lot of them, especially when it comes to social media, especially in spaces like this, they're going to be trash. And I know that. But I'm going to say shout out to the Crimson Cure, somebody who I actually believe people can listen to and get a good piece of what they should get. So shout out to her. Now, you know, and she's been a guest over here in the past. So, you know, love Crimson Cure. She good people. Now, she did a video, okay, about a clip somebody made. All right. Now, I don't know the woman's name in the clip. I've seen that particular woman around. She says, well, I mean, honestly, I'm going to just tell y'all straight up truth. I saw the chick a long time ago. So, and she was kind of ranting down on men. This is a while ago. This is probably a good 5 years ago or something. All right. So, she ain't never liked black men. That's from what I know about her. She ain't never liked black men. So now she made a little video talking about, she, as a quote unquote good woman, is getting the same results as the hoes. Now, the sad part is there are people who will accept this as a concept like it really means something, accept that it's real, and accept that for some reason she is somehow different than the hoes. I'm going to say, y'all got to watch a woman who listens to her own assessment about herself. Now, as humans, it's natural to think what you want to think about yourself. And in the right context, that can be a very good thing. In the right context, it can be a very good thing. But at some point in time, you got to open your ears to people that aren't you, just to make sure, that whatever you thinking is, it's on some firm ground. Okay, just to make sure it's on some firm ground. I'm not saying let somebody else define you. Okay, I ain't gonna tell you that. But you better pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Now, this is the thing, y'all. And this is why you have so many problems in the overall black community. You got a lot of people making assessments about themselves that should not be making assessments. Because when it comes down to relationships, it is the man that gets to make the assessment. Now, it ain't like a woman can't have an opinion about a man, but that opinion ain't gonna hold much water. It's about the man making the assessments. Until women get to the place where they want to start taking care of men on a regular basis, then the truth is, our assessment of them matters a lot. Their assessments of us ain't that big a deal. Now, people may want to fight you on a concept like that, but what is there to really fight about? If a woman wants a man to take care of her, then we're going to make all types of assessments of what we're willing to take care of, because that's what we're supposed to do. You are talking about a man have to make a financial investment in his life. That investment may be into the woman. But where do you spend your money? And you don't get to choose how you spend it. Like, we don't do that in America now. I mean, in context, we pay some taxes you don't want to pay. I feel you there. You pay some bills you don't want to pay. I feel you there. But outside of that, man, you spend your money where you want to. And since women live in this equal country, almost equal on paper, almost equal on paper, and yet they still don't have the attitude of, I'm going to find me a good man to take care of. Your assessment of yourself ain't really about nothing. It's that simple at the end of the day. Your assessment about yourself ain't really about nothing. So we got some woman. She's upset talking about the good women get the same pool of men as the hoes. Well, in context, depending on what context you use, she's right. The women on the same planet we on. In that context, sure, you're right. Okay. All right. Yeah, we all on the same planet. So in that context, sure. That makes some sense. But when you start talking about actualities of what people can and can't access, see, because I can say I have access to a person here or there, but truth be told, for most people in the world, you don't have access to without an actual considerable effort. If you live in America, and shout out to all my people who listen from outside of America, shout out to all y'all. But see, if you live in America, you don't have access to women in Africa unless you make an effort. That's how it go for the most part. Now, I ain't saying you can't luckily meet a woman who came over from Africa in America. It's possible. I mean, anything's possible, but what's probable? You ain't gonna get access to those women unless you're willing to go to some part of Africa to have some access to those particular type of women, whichever women you like. Okay, maybe you like the Nigerians. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you like the Ghanaians. I don't know. Whatever you happen to like. Other than that, you don't really have access to those people. In theory you do, but in reality you don't. All right. Some people say, well, what about the internet? You don't know what's on the other side of that computer until you meet the other side of that computer. There's plenty of folks getting scammed right now because there's some guy in some random country posing as a woman, talking good stuff to get him to send money. And this is what they do all day. They just talk. And, a lot of stuff is text, and they use those sites to get money out of men. And it'll be other grown men. You don't know what you got until you get to the other side. Just is what it is. People say, what about video calls? And you can talk with a young lady and she has her own man, but she telling you that you her man. You don't know what you got until you actually get it. It is what it is. Okay? You don't know what you have till you actually get it. Now, this is not me saying something bad about anybody who's engaged with different people in different countries online. I wish everybody the best. I'm just saying there is a reality to it that you don't know what you have until you get it. So the truth is, most people don't have the access that the internet may say you have access. You really don't have access. Okay? You got access to the people around you. Your proximity is where you have access to. That's why you got to salute people like people who become passport bros. You got to, hang your hat to them because they're making the effort to gain access to somebody else. And shout out to each and every one of them, Now, the thing is, we had a woman say, the good women get the same women, the same guys. The good women can't get the same guys that the hoes get. First question every black man should look at is, who told her she wasn't no hoe? Who made that? Who made that assessment? Okay, who made that assessment? Now, this is the thing. I heard her like you heard her. Now, I'm not going to say every woman who has sex is a hoe. I know there's people who say that. They're looking at it from a biblical perspective. And hey, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But I'm going to say the same thing I've been saying for years. If a woman has had sex with one man, how do I know she ain't had sex with 1,000 men? How do I know she ain't had sex with 10,000 men? The number can be anything. There's no way for me to know that. So, first of all, for a woman to say that she only gets access to the same men that the hoes get access to, a lot of that's her own fault. Let's just keep this real. A lot of that's her own fault. She didn't say she was a virgin. Now, let's keep it real. Being a virgin gets you access to men that you wouldn't be able to have access to if you weren't a virgin. That's just how the game goes. Okay? Now, she ain't came to terms with the fact that whatever's going on in her world, she like giving her pussy out to people that she shouldn't give her pussy out to. And she said, I'm getting the same results. Now, let's say, because a lot of women, they talk from a personal standpoint. So let's say she has actually dealt with these people that she mentioned. Okay, well, I'm going to get, if I'm a good girl, that's what she trying to say. Like, if I'm a good girl and I'm not out here being a downright hoe. Now my thing is, as men, you got to look at what she says, because women will let you know a lot about their value systems and the things they say. Well, I wasn't out here being no hoe. Okay. Shout out to Trail Billy. He say, but Roger, she's now celibate. I mean, celibate from what? y'all. At some point in time, we as men gonna have to let women know that all that celibacy stuff ain't really rocking like that. I mean, a woman could live in pornos for a while. You can be, you can sign up and do pornos at 18, and you might stop at 22, and now you're quote unquote celibate. What that mean? From 18 to 22, how many dicks did you do? You could have been in the porno industry. So I'm gonna just keep it real. I already said what the solution is to that, but people don't like it because it's not quote unquote easy. If you go to church, you take the Lord seriously, you turn your life over to him, and you become celibate, and now you go deal with you get you a husband out of that church. That church you attend, you get your husband out of that church, okay? And you go be celibate over there. That's what you do. You go be celibate over there. All right? But women talking about that. I've never concerned myself about a woman talking about she's celibate. I know what's gonna happen. She don't give me none. Okay, what you're not gonna do is be out here having sex with people, and I graciously give you a chance, and you don't give it to me. You see, y'all, as a man. Now, let's keep it real. As men, we're trained to consider everything from the woman's side. We are trained to do that as black men. We're very much trained to look at everything from the woman's side. So I know for me personally, a lot of people gonna look at me strange because I'm not looking at everything from the woman's side. I'm looking at stuff from my side first because that's the side that counts the most. Because I have to live with my side. Every decision I make, wrong or right, I gotta live with it. So I'm not gonna consider her position first. It's just not happening. Okay? She not my wife. She ain't that big a deal. Okay? And that may sound bad, but unless you my wife, it just ain't that big a deal. All right. Shout out to Elder Blood. I see he says, Roger, I would appreciate you reading the above comment for your audience, and maybe the bros watching can comment on what they derive from it. Okay, let's see what your above comment is. Shout out to Elder Blood. He been rocking with me for a good long time. So let's see what he's talking about. Elder Blood said, Roger in chat, don't ever again be afraid to speak on virgins versus whores. I'm not saying this was a joke because he got the exclamation mark and everything. It's just funny to me when I think about the concept. Okay, he said, Roger in chat, don't ever again be afraid to speak on virgins versus whores. Listen, why do y'all think God never placed a hymen on men's penises? I mean, there's a point because God could have gave men some kind of marker, but he gave it to women for a reason. Okay, God don't do nothing without reason. That's for sure. All right. Now, this is the thing, y'all. If when a woman says she's celibate, tell her to rock with the men that go to her church. Now, as men, this is what you got to do. Okay. Stop letting women feel comfortable coming out telling a bunch of grown men who she already been out here having sex that it's okay. She finna quote unquote be celibate when it comes to you. No, you be celibate with the men that go to your church. Now, I think that's a great place for a woman to go be celibate. Why you need all these different men in your face anyway? If you trying to give your life to the Lord, then go be celibate at your church. Now, if she's not being celibate for church, if there's no reason behind it, there's no God behind it, what are you talking about? Now, I'm not saying you got to be a Christian or have Christian beliefs, but if there's no religious thing going on with her talking about she's celibate, then how do you back up her being celibate? I don't know you being celibate. That's just something you saying. I don't know that's true. And I got to deal with what I know. All right. So this is called putting yourself first, gentlemen. I can't worry about what she's talking about. I got to worry about what I know. Now, what I know is she ain't a virgin. That's what I know. I can't worry about her celibate dreams unless she's doing that for the church. At least show me you doing it. Yeah, you got to be doing it for a greater source than me. because I don't know you like that. So I don't believe you. Just is what it is. Now, as men, a lot of the issues we have is we don't accept that we give these women grace, because we as black men, the fact that we would even talk to a woman who's not a virgin, we don't consider that giving her grace. You know, we don't consider that. Now, at some point in time, you might want to shift the way you think about it. Now, you have a woman who declares, you know, in her own mind that she is good, but she don't have access to better men, even though she's good. Number one, we don't even know she good. That's number one. Whatever she think good is does not mean it's gonna match what men think good is. Women, you know, have a very hard time bringing themselves up to the standard of men. Let's just keep that real. Okay, they have a very hard time bringing themselves up to the standards of men. Well, you can see that clearly now. We've had such a push for equality in America, and you've seen how people have dropped standards so women can, quote unquote, get to a certain place. Now, a lot of people forget men have to get those same standards. You know, what it takes for you to do any particular thing, you know, the physical attributes you have to be a police officer. Well, there were men who had to fit that criteria, and they didn't make it either. Okay, if you wanted to be a fireman, there's physical things you had to be able to do. Well, there were men that didn't cut that mustard either. You want to be a Navy SEAL? There's certain things you had to do physically. It's men that didn't cut that mustard either. You know, and they've gotten to the place, I don't know all the particulars of all the different places where they actually start changing the requirements so women can pass some type of physical situation. Well, there were men who didn't pass either. See, a lot of us, we don't look at that from a proper context. Okay, well, we got to make it so women can pass some kind of way. It's other men that didn't pass. Some guy was able to do it, but then there's another guy who wasn't able to do it. Okay, it is what it is. So when a woman says that she can't gain nothing but the same thing the hoes can gain, what is that telling me about her? She went after the same men. Her concept of hoes and the men that they were choosing, she went after the same thing. Plus, she thinks men are women. Did y'all hear her say? Ran through men? There's no such thing as a ran through man. Okay, let's just keep that. Just stop it right there. You know, these ran through men. Ain't no such thing as a ran through man. Ain't nobody running through men. Well, I guess if you want to get technical, that's some prison stuff. You know, if you want to talk about prison life, maybe you got a ran through man in prison. You know, we putting something in a woman. We not having something put in us. So yes, women can be ran through, but generally men will not be ran through. But the fact that she could even say such a thing like that says something about her thinking. She don't, why would she get to be with a man and she think the way she do? Because I'm going to tell you, for me, that one line said it all. That was enough information for me to know this ain't somebody I should be talking to. Okay? See, as men, we got to start peeping game about stuff in a much easier way, and we got to make it plain to other guys coming up. Okay? That was enough right there to know you ain't worth doing nothing with. Now, there's another thing going on, and that's called looks. Now, I'm not going to let nobody come up here and trash the lady looks, but let's just keep it real. Okay? You regular. I'm not saying regular is bad. I'm just saying she regular. You know, we can say what we want to say about a person, but she regular. You just a regular chick, okay? I don't know who she thought she was supposed to get being a regular chick, you know? And there's a lot of regular chicks who really believe they should be getting top of the line men. You know, that they're not supposed to, you know, get up with a regular dude when a regular dude is nice enough to give them a chance. You know? But I mean, you talking about men that got all these kids from other people, Okay, so you like men with a bunch of baby mamas. And who fault is that? Okay. Now she could have just said it as an example, or she could be doing the things that women do, talking from a place that matters to her personally, because that's what a lot of women do. You know, men, we have the ability to talk about some things that ain't necessarily personal to us. I do it on a regular basis. But a lot of women find it hard to talk about something without putting a personal perspective on it. Okay, so at the end of the day, you got a regular chick, okay, you going after men with a bunch of baby moms. Now let's keep it real, y'all. Most men ain't got no kids if you're talking about black men. Most of us ain't even got kids. So how do you end up with a man with a bunch of kids from a bunch of different women? That's called shooting for it. Okay? You can't do that unless that's what you was trying to do, because those men are very few and far between. Because when you start thinking about black men with kids, you know, because now you've already eliminated the guys with no kids. And now we're going to eliminate married men, and they got their kids, you know what I'm saying, in a situation with the woman that they married to. Then you got other men who are not married, but they have kids, but they only messing with that one woman they had kids from. So we got to take all them out the picture too. So now you got this small percentage of men who actually got kids with multiple baby mamas. You know, less than 10% of men, and you messing with those guys and you act like it's somebody else's fault. Come on now. See, a lot of black women have low value. And when the jig is up, they get upset about their own choices. Now, why, if she was a quote unquote good woman, why wasn't she married at 23? You know, and see, this is the type of stuff men need to start asking women. If you a good woman, how come nobody married you? You know what I'm saying, before your 23rd birthday? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the one thing I do not see is a bunch of young, great women who are under 23 years old. Well, I'm gonna say this 23 and above who are still single. I'll say that. Now, why am I saying 23 and above? Because you're supposed to be married by 22. I don't see these great, fantastic, wonderful, you know, sisters just going around here and they 23 and up. I don't see them. And that's just real talk. Now, people can say whatever they want, but let's keep it real. Women who you instantly want to marry, because they out there, they just don't last on the market that long. Finding them at 23 and being single is almost impossible. You know, I don't even know if it is possible, truth be told, because I ain't seen one. Not at 23. I've met some young lady, and I had it in my mind quick, like, oh, this the marrying kind right here. And you know what those women had? Relationships with somebody, and usually somebody who was intending on marrying them. I've met a lot of young ladies over the years, you know, and I was like, oh, okay, this the marrying kind right here. And you know what? They didn't just have boyfriends. They was engaged. And some of them were already married, even when I was their ages. You know? So, you know, that whole college age thing, not saying they particularly went to college or not, but that college age, that around 18 to 22, yeah, them women's getting taken off the market. Sometimes it'd be an older guy. Sometimes be a guy their age. You know, I just talked to a guy not too long ago. You know, I knew who he was. I bumped into him again after a while. Young man told me he married. I seen his ring. I was like, oh, you married? He's like, yeah. I was like, how old are you now? He was like 26. I said, how long you been married? 8 years. You see what I'm talking about, y'all? 26 years old. Say he been married for 8 years already. So people can talk a lot of stuff about being good or being good. I mean, being great or a wonderful person for marriage. This guy obviously peeped something in this woman, that he's 26 years old and already been married for 8 years. So we do the math. When he married her, he was 18. Okay. He say, yeah, man, it was my high school sweetheart. We made a decision. We went to the same college, got married, and did our thing. And we've been married ever since. I say, oh, that, you know what I'm saying? You know, congratulate him for being such a smart young man. I say, you did the right thing, you know. The last thing you need is to be worrying about these hoes out here. The last thing you need. But again, that's just another case of you have a woman that's actually 18 years old, which you can get married without your parents' permission at that point, who just does not make it to 23. And she's great for a marriage. I don't see that. So the first thing is a lot of men got to learn to have women accept the fact that if you're still on the market, there's a reason you're still on the market, because people don't find you that great. Now, I understand men be trying to have sex with women, or you might be trying to secure a relationship with a woman. So you just got to be, be tactful of how you say it, but tell it anyway. And you can be tactful if you can. Look, I ain't talking to you because I think you're the greatest thing ever. Because if you was the greatest thing ever, you would already be married. But I am going to give you a chance. Now some people may say, well, Roger, that's trying to create some form of leverage or whatever. No, it's not. It's just recognizing what the truth is. The only reason you're not married because you ain't been good enough to be a wife. If you were, somebody would have married you already. And I get it. Some of y'all gonna say, well, she said somebody proposed. Bro, if somebody proposed to her and didn't marry her, that means she ain't worth nothing. It is what it is. Now, a woman would tell you, well, no, I am worth something. Let's think about this from a realistic standpoint, y'all. Let's think about this from a realistic standpoint. You got a woman who's a widow man, right? She's with him, let's say, 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. And she's doing all these different things to make him comfortable enough to propose. Now, he actually goes get a ring, and he actually, playing something out. He do the proposal, he take her to the nice restaurant. He got the ring and the dessert or something. Let's be realistic about this stuff. You do all these different little steps, right? So you can propose to this woman, right? Okay. I ain't saying he bought the biggest diamond, okay, but he saved up whatever money he had. He bought something to present to her as an engagement ring. Now, she been with this man the whole time. She been cool with the stuff that he's doing. She's been cool with the type of way he represents himself and all that. And then all of a sudden, when he actually goes and gets the ring, she looks at him and say, I don't like him enough to even make that commitment to him. But all this time I was with him, I denied all these other men that I could have had a better life with. You tell me how that sounds intelligent. So if you're going to accept her story, you got to also accept she's an idiot. I'm with this man that I don't like, and I'm denying all these other men that I could potentially have a better life with. Okay? At the end of the day, it just don't make sense, and it doesn't show that she's intelligent at all. Why would she accept to be led by a man that she don't think is good enough to marry? That don't make no sense. Let's be real about that. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Bronx. Bronx says, I got married at 20. I did it right with the wrong one, though. Now let's see what you're saying here. Let's break this down, Bronx. You said you married the wrong one. A man can do that. It's hard to marry the right one in this climate. I will say that. It's hard to marry any woman who's going to stay right in this climate. But this is the thing. You did marry her, and she wasn't even the right one. So if a woman is the right one, if the wrong one can get married, let's really put some thought into this, y'all. If the wrong woman can get married, how can you be the right one and you can't? We got to learn to think about stuff from a reality perspective. If the wrong woman can get married, then how come the right woman can't? See, that don't make no sense right there. Okay. If the wrong woman can get out here and get somebody to propose to her and she actually get down the aisle, how can you be the right woman and you can't get down the aisle? All right. Now, I'm gonna say now this picture up here, y'all, is a young lady named Miss Twerksome. Okay. I remember them because when they first came out, it was she was dancing with like two other girls. They was calling themselves Twerk Team. I remember that. I remember that. Okay. I do remember that. It's years and years ago, but I remember that. Now, this is a picture of some lady named Miss Twerksome who maybe they broke up or something. You know, it's hard for women to stay together in a lot of different cases. So I'm just going to assume she broke up or whatever. Or maybe she did. Maybe it's just a interview picture, you know, a picture from an interview or something that they did. Well, it's definitely a picture from an interview somebody did with her. So maybe she blew up or something. I don't know. I remember them as internet stuff, you know, when the internet was catching on. I mean, this is way back when us. Well, I guess when I don't want to say when he was hot, because you know he might be hot now to this day. But Soldier Boy, you know, I know it was a big movement. I know they was doing stuff, the Soldier Boy stuff. You know, once Soldier Boy got on, but I think Soldier Boy has been pretty hot as far as a rapper is concerned. He done made this. He done did some things, you know, with what he was able to do. So now Miss Twerksome, she got some level of fame by being on the twerk team. Now, it's the twerk team. You don't have to figure out what the twerk team was doing. It's right there in the name. Okay? She calls herself Miss Twerksome. Now, Miss Twerksome could be the most lovely individual ever. She could be that. She really could. She could be a virgin. You know? She could. She could. She could be the softest, sweetest thing out there. I ain't never really heard her talk. Okay. I just seen the twerk back in the day. Okay. I did see that. Okay. I seen the twerk back in the day. I remember somebody showing, yeah, it's a twerk team, blah, blah, blah. I remember being shown her. I remember seeing videos. I've seen multiple videos where they was dancing to some songs. Okay. So I remember her. So now I see as years go on, she must have became somebody. Maybe they're making good money off of it. She got her name as Miss Twerksome. You know, I don't know how you can just twerk and it just keep pushing. But sometimes when you're the first person to really do something, it works for you. Sometimes it works. Now she could be the most wholesome chick ever. She could be. I'm not saying I know about what goes on in her personal life. You know, she could be. But I said, let me get a picture to somewhat represent, you know, not saying she is, but I said, let me get a picture to represent the hoes, okay? Now, I'm telling y'all straight up, I don't know if she's a hoe for real. I don't know. I ain't never ran no train on her, okay? I don't know nobody who ran the train on. I don't know nothing about who been getting up with that little kitty cat. I don't know. All right. But if I had to bet my own money, okay? Shout out to Trevor. He said, good. That's a strong word, Roger. I'm just saying, if I had to bet my own money, okay, is she a hoe or not? If I had to bet, not your money, but if I had to bet my money, is she a hoe? Not knowing anything about her sexual escapades, ain't nowhere in the world you gonna get me to bet my money that she ain't no hoe. You not. That one ain't happening now. That one ain't happening. Okay. Again, I'm being straight up. I don't know nothing about her sex life. Okay. But I do remember her from the twerk team back in the day. That's a long time ago. So I guess that twerking, you know, I mean, I don't know how popular she is or whatever. I don't. But I definitely remember somebody calling me in the room, showing me the twerk team. I do remember that. Okay. So she was making money, shaking her behind. All right. guys would meet her in the street, wherever she happened to be. And I mean, maybe it was some guys who wanted to quote unquote wife her up. Maybe somebody wanted to do it. But I would just think realistically, okay, it's guys that just wanted to, you know what I'm saying? They was ready for some bedroom action. That's how she advertised herself. I'm pretty sure that's what type of guys approach her on a more regular basis, okay? Because, hey, you part of the twerk team. We know what this about, so we know what you about. Come on, get down like you're talking about it, okay? Come get down how you live, okay? Come on, get down how you live. All right? No. Let me see. Shout out to Afro Merch. He said Roger don't bet his own money. And so when he does, it's 100% true. We can roll with that, Afro Merch. We can roll with that. And ain't no way in the world you get me to bet that this young lady here. Okay, now I seen her before all these tattoos and whatnot. Okay. But she was on the twerk team. So am I surprised she got tattoos now? Of course not. Okay. I'm sure she was getting down, doing all the different things the hoes do with all the guys that like to keep hoes around. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So the tattoos and all that don't surprise me none. Okay. So it's all good. All right. Shout out to Dr. Dizzle. He say, bruh, she allegedly has an OnlyFans. Come on, dog. She got an OnlyFans too, huh? Oh, see, I don't know. I remember her from a long time ago when the twerk team was just like a new thing. I remember seeing that. But boom, here we go. So does she have an OnlyFans? Well, if I had to bet my money, I think that would be a safe bet. I definitely think that would be a safe bet. If I had to think about it, I would probably have already come to the conclusion that she got an OnlyFans. Okay, so I'm just using her as the image to represent the hoes. I'm not saying she personally a hoe. I don't know nothing about it for real. But, I'm just using her as a representation of the hoes, okay? So now when I hear this young lady talking about, the good women, okay, they got to pick from the same group of men as the hoe. No, you like picking what you believe the hoes get. That's what that is. That's a woman who's admitting without trying to admit that she likes going after the guys that the hoes get. Because y'all know how women want to be included, right? So in her perspective, the guy with the multiple baby mamas, where the other women had it, so I want them too. Okay? I don't get nothing for being a good woman. I mean, that depends on what kind of woman you are. The thing is, you don't get nothing for being your version of a good woman. But your version of a good woman don't equal good woman to a man. Now, I'm just going to say this flat out, because, I don't know that lady personally either. Obviously, she's not a good woman. Now, I'm going to say obviously because she's not married. If you're making this video and you're complaining of what you wasn't able to get, and you have passed your 30th birthday, you are an official loser at that point. You're not a good woman. If you were a good woman, men would see you as good. And this is the thing. She's a regular looking chick, but that don't stop a man from marrying her. Black men ain't never required black women to be no superstars when it comes to looks. We just haven't. Okay? So people can crack jokes about her looks, and I'm not saying do that because I try not to do that with black women. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make fun of their looks, but let's be realistic about the looks. You could be super regular as a black woman and still get married. It's a bunch of super regular looking black women who got married. It's a bunch of them. Hey, I would, I would believe at this particular point, when you look at the women who are married, most of them, the vast majority of them, probably at 75% or better, was some super regular looking chick. Okay, super regular. Because I meet men and I meet wives. Okay, I ain't saying I ain't met a man who ain't had a stunning wife. I've met some men who had some stunning wives. One guy's wife was so fine, I was like, bro, why ain't she in the movies? You know, she was ridiculously fine. Where you find her at, bro? Like, it was one of those. Like, where you find her? You know. But for whatever reason, she knew that she didn't want to be in that Hollywood lifestyle, and everybody knew she was drop dead gorgeous. So, and he ain't had no money or nothing. He was a regular dude. Okay, he's a regular dude. His wife was just had an irregular beauty. Okay, was nothing regular about her beauty. So I done met a lot of men though. I ain't saying they got ugly wives. I'm just saying they regular. Okay, they regular. So at the end of the day, I know it wasn't her looks keeping her from being married. That's what I do know. Her looks ain't what kept her from being married. Which means what? It's her. It's who she is. Okay. Now she says she wasn't out here having sex all over the place. So I'm going to assume she's not a baby mama. So we know your kids ain't the problem. Okay. If you ain't got no bunch of kids running around, we can't blame it on you couldn't get married because you had a bunch of kids. Okay. I'm not going to say it's the looks because men marry regular looking women on a regular basis. So that didn't stop her. But at the end of the day, she got a bad attitude. It's that simple. Bad attitude. Y'all, there are four major things that have always kept women from getting married in Black America. Okay. For the ones this fits, because there was a time when the most of us were married. But for the ones who fit, it's been too much debt, too many kids, being overweight, and having a bad attitude. Those are the four major things that Black men, look at and just won't accept the marriage when it comes to a woman. These are not things they can't control. You can control your attitude. And that's the number one thing there. You can control your attitude. All right. You can control your weight. You can control your debt. Believe it or not, you can actually control your debt. you know? And you can control how many kids you have. So these are all things that women can control. And they choose not to. And then they make rants about stuff that does not matter because at the end of the day, this is what she's decided to do with her life. This is why low value rage is a real thing. Okay. And I know maybe the first time I did it, some people may thought I was just being funny. Okay. Some people may thought it's a gimmick. No, this is a very real thing. Black women, there's just tons and tons of Black women who literally have low value rage. And they're mad at Black men because they are who they decided to be. Now, I listen to her. I don't hear no level of sympathy. Okay. Well, I don't get no level of sympathy toward her because she mad that she didn't make good choices. Because that's all I heard. She didn't make good choices. All right. Shout out to Black Rule Strikes. He says she seemed like the sassy mouth type. Like I'm pretty sure her attitude is the main reason that she went all this time and couldn't get married. And now for her to sit there and blame men that she couldn't be humble enough to get married. Now, I noticed the Crimson Cure said something about it as if she's a regular content creator. Now, I've seen her face before a couple different times. So, like I said, I know who she is. I've been known she ain't like Black men. The first time I ever seen her saying something, she was talking very, very bad on Black men. So my thing is, okay, so you talk bad on Black men for a good amount of time, yet you basically depend on Black men to marry you, and then nobody did it. Like, I don't even understand why we don't get the math on this one. Okay. Black women are very dependent on Black men to actually marry them. You spend a lot of years talking crazy on Black men. Now a Black man won't marry you and you can't figure out why he didn't do it. It's nothing really to figure out when you truly think about it. Okay, nothing to figure out when you really think about it. You know. Now, shout out to Trail Bentley. He said, "Now, if her mama put the lights up, if the mama put the lights in her name when she was a child, Roger, she can't control that debt. No. We ain't even doing that. We ain't even doing that, Trail. When she become an adult and she find out what the situation is, she can fix it. It is what it is. She can fix that. She can control her debt. Okay." You know, you could owe $3,000 on your 18th birthday. You just didn't know about it. But at the end of the day, you can start doing something about it at that point in time. And there are people who get into this dilemma with their parents. Usually it's a mama. Okay. Heck, every single time I heard of it was a mama. You don't want to tell your mama to stop using your name. Well, that's a you thing. If you find out your mama didn't have the license in your name for the last 7 years, that's on you to tell your mama stop using your name. It's on you to call the light company, shut that thing down. And this is the thing. Sometimes we have issues because we don't want to cut our mama off. But that's a decision. Okay, at the end of the day, these are all decisions. I understand why people would make bad decisions, but that don't mean the decision ain't bad. I get it. You know, my little brother needs some help, so I'm gonna make a poor decision to loan him money, knowing he ain't gonna pay me back. It's a poor decision. I understand the poor decision, but the money gone. Okay. My sister ain't got nowhere to stay, but she got 3 kids. I'm gonna let her in my house because it's my sister. Poor decision, but I understand the poor decision. So, see, I'm not so far gone that I don't get that we as adults sometimes we just make poor decisions for certain reasons. Okay, it is what it is. My thing is just make sure you can accept what comes along with that poor decision if you make it. Because I get it. If your sister ain't got nowhere to go, that's gonna be hard on anybody. Okay, that's probably gonna be hard on anybody. But if you let her come in your home with her 3 kids and you already know she trifling, I ain't saying don't do it. Okay, it's your sister. I get it. I ain't saying don't do it. What I am saying is accept what comes with that decision. You already know she trifling, so let's not act like she ain't. Okay. You know good and well she's irresponsible, and that's what you about to let into the house. So don't get mad about how things don't change up here and there. You let somebody who is irresponsible in your home, you did it off the strength that she your sister. I get it. Okay. I do get it. You know, hopefully not, but maybe I'll have to make a decision like that one day. So I definitely get it, but that don't change the facts. See, the facts don't change just because you love somebody. Okay? Facts don't change just because you love somebody. Can you handle that poor decision because you love that particular person? You know? I understand how it go. All right? Now, shout out to No News Podcast. He said, "Thank you, Roger. Called it like it is. Stop saving folks from their poor decisions." Well, I'm gonna say this, man. If you want to do that, just understand the cost you have to pay to do that. Because I get that we all humans. We all humans, and all of us got a spot. And sometimes people might touch your spot. You know. Now, me, I'm a person who will go out for family. I will do that. Okay. If my family in trouble, I'm probably gonna be there for them. But I do have to make a measurement. Is being there for you gonna cost me too much? And now I'm at the point, if it costs me too much, I'm gonna have to say, hey, I want to help you. I would love to help you. Oh, my mama, I want to help you. But man, I can't help you. Okay. It ain't that I'm saying I'm not saying I ain't in position to help you. I'm just saying it'll cost me way too much to help you. So can't do it. Can't do it. It is what it is. You know. So I do get it. But I'm going to say this particular woman here, though, as I listen to the things she said, okay, I'm not going to be nice and be like she had a point. No, she ain't had no point. This is a woman she is being faced with the fact that she's 30 years old and she has never put herself in position where she was worthy of getting a husband. And that's all it is to it at the end of the day. She ain't never been worthy of having a husband. She obviously ain't married. She's mad that she ain't good enough for a husband. And she mad at us for her not being good enough for a husband. I seen along now. I actually heard people say, "Oh, she's been a good person. She's supportive of black men." Now, I've heard people say stuff like that. Now I don't know why, because like I said, when I seen her years ago, she hated black men then. So I don't get why people say she's supportive of black men. Because every time I seen her, she had something foul to say. In this situation, she still got something foul to say. Okay, so it is what it is. Shout out to Bucky. Bucky say, "I'm glad you're not my cousin, Roger." And you know, Bucket, I would have to make some type of real assessment, man. I would, if you ran into a tough spot. I ain't saying I wouldn't want to be there for you, but I don't know how to be there for you, man. I don't know. But shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. I'm gonna let Tunnel Runner get the mic because he didn't came up. So Tunnel Runner, you got it, my brother. You got it. How you doing?
How am I coming through clearly, sir?
Yes, sir. You are. You actually are.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, a lot of this situation could be done if these women would, you know, get married before they carry, and they would just get married at a younger age when they just all they doing by going out there dating all these guys is just adding trauma to their life. And love is real and the struggle is real. And you don't want to be in the trenches with the guy. You don't want to be in the gym when he's shooting shots. Then don't expect to be getting the rewards after he makes it. It's just that girl right there. She wasn't who she is right now. She was a bigger girl, and I'm sure she would had certain higher standards. Even though her standards and look wasn't that high, she still had high standards. Now that she got herself a little bit more together, she still has the high standards, and she wasn't willing to work with somebody when somebody was willing to work with her. They got to do the math. They got to do the math. But women they won't do the math. They won't look at themselves. They won't look at the men and look at themselves, so they can actually have a real make a good choices and do real good things. They just want to too much playing out there and not enough real life, real thinking. Not enough logic. Just
Well,
expect
I'm gonna say you said it right the first time you said it. She don't want to work with nobody. She's a woman. It's about her. Does she want to work with somebody? It's never about do we want to work with them. We the person is gonna end up spending the most money. If a woman wants to be taken care of, she needs to be willing to work with the man who's willing to take care of her. I understand all this stuff about equality and about what women can do. But women, time and time again, because I actually go out and ask them, are you willing to take care of a man? The answer is still no. I ain't met one woman yet who said, yeah, I'll take care of a man. I got it. I don't care what's going on with him. As long as I'm with him, he ain't got to worry about nothing. I ain't heard one woman say that yet. So far, 100% of women I've asked, are you willing to take care of a man or do you want a man to take care of you? 100% of them said, I want a man to take care of me. So my thing is I can't give them room in the space they're not in. Okay? And I understand some guys, see, we try to use logic to make ourselves understand some stupid stuff that's going on. And we'll sit there and be like, well, no, I've seen a woman, she got her man and he don't go to work, he don't do nothing. Yeah, Pookie out there. But at the end of the day, she don't take care of him either. That's all temporary. You've never seen a woman be with Pookie and keep him for a lifetime. You ain't seen one of them.
Yeah, and the disrespect that those Pookies get is unbelievable. But they just take it because they got nowhere else to go. Are they looking?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So they won't take care of Pookie. But see, you in your mind be trying to make it fit logically. No, she think Pookie a better man, blah, blah. I can't tell. I see how she treat Pookie. I can't tell she think he a better man. I see what she tell you about Pookie to make Pookie shine when she talking to you, but I see how she treat Pookie. There's no in the world she got more respect for Pookie than she got for you. She like a nigga she can control. But because she don't want to take care of a man, if Pookie will never become the man that takes care of her, she have a problem with it. And guess what? It's usually never going to be the case, because if Pookie actually start getting on his grind and becoming something, he going to outgrow her. So it never works. It just is what it is. It never actually works. How many times y'all done see women go after men from prison, but you don't see no guy who got with a woman who came from prison where she took care of him? You don't see one case of that. At best, you're going to see a guy who turned his life around and then he going to take care of her. She good with that, because you want to wave in his face that you'd be nothing if it wasn't for me. But she's not taking care of that man. He got himself in a position where he's now taking care of her. She's just trying to gain some type of leverage in that relationship so she can say, nigga, you would be nothing without me. And a lot of men are dumb enough to believe it. But women ain't trying to take care of men out here. So at the end of the day, I'm only going to deal with them from the perspective that they ain't trying to take care of men. So what is this woman saying that's really so powerful and impactful? She's just a woman she butthurt that don't nobody want her like that. And she ran and raving as if it's a problem. Look, you're a regular looking chick. You could have been married a regular dude, but the whole thing is you think you above a regular dude. That's all that is. Because black women have this thing where if you a nigga, I gotta be higher than you. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, that's where all the disrespect comes from. That's where you can be a successful black man and still not get your wife to smile. Still buy the best car she wants, and 3 days later she forgot about that. I mean, this just it's so strong that the femininity is so strong in some of these women that they will try
You
to
mean the
bring a
feminism?
successful
The femininity or the feminism?
feminism. Sorry, feminism. It being, it's so strong in them that they can't even they can't enjoy your victories unless they can say it's our victory. It can't just be your victory. It has to be our victory.
Yeah. He won because of me.
Exactly.
If she can't say that, that's a problem. You know?
Exactly. Michelle Obama.
Yes.
I did get that in there, Roger. Off subject, off subject, but anyway.
Not really, but yeah.
uh, uh,
Now, I'm gonna say, y'all, low value rage is a black man's problem because we accept what women say. That's how it becomes a black man's problem. We will listen to a woman like that and we will care something about what she said because she's complaining, and we dumb enough to be like, yeah, that's the problem. See, black men, we ain't got ourselves together enough to make sure she's straight. Yeah, we have. We've done that plenty. The thing is, she don't want to be straight. She like being out there messing with dudes that are questionable. She like a man that's in a compromised position. She told us, hey, she don't get nothing except what the hoes get. Now you got to examine that statement and say, okay, well, what is she getting? She just told you flat out, she only get what the hoes get. So when a man looks at a hoe and say only thing she get is some hard dick and bubble gum, that means she taking hard dick and bubble gum because she get what the hoes get. You know, you deal with less than 10% of men who got a bunch of baby mamas. She dealing with those guys because she get what the hoes get. So you got to think about what she's. See, black women so smooth in saying stuff, and we've been so trained to not really question the stuff being said. All this type of stuff goes right past us, and we just accept it. Okay, this chick been letting anybody hit, But she'll tell you, well, I ain't put myself out there like that. But who did you put yourself out there to? You don't have to have sex with a bunch of men to have only poor men mess with you, or poor choices of men, I should say, not actual poor from a financial standpoint, but I'm saying men who make poor choices on a regular basis. You ain't got to be no super big hoe. Maybe you've only slept with 5 men your whole life, but that don't mean all 5 men were men that other men would not want to marry their daughters. See, you got to think about what's actually being said. Okay. And a lot of times we just don't do that. Okay. A lot of times we just don't do that. All right. Shout out to Trust Yourself First. It says, just so you know, Roger, in Love After Lockup, there was a big black. Oh, excuse me. There was a big back that took care of a dude from prison, but she kind of had to. I would need more context. I don't know what this means. In Love After Lockup. So the title tells me something right there as it is. Love After Lockup. So first of all, this is a show about people getting together after they getting locked up. So, okay, we got 2 people in prison, okay? And you say a Big Mac took care of a dude from prison. But so I guess it's got something to do with whatever crime they committed or whatever. I want to know the context of this, so I ain't gonna lie. I kind of want to know the context of this. Shout out to Dr. Dizzle. He said Freudian slip. Yeah, I don't know if it was a Freudian slip because I said black. I mean, it's a lot of big black women out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, you think somebody's going in a place that they ain't necessarily going. Could have just been that. I ain't gonna argue about that. It's a lot of big backs out there, and those big backs happen to be black. So it is what it is. Okay. Now, shout out to Trust Yourself First. He says, yeah, he was free. He was free. Yeah, he was free East in her minds, but as expected, Buddy was cheating and trying to escape. Well, people can find themselves in some tough situations. That's all I'm saying. People can find themselves in some tough situations, but heck, if it's love after lockup, I'm just gonna say automatically that's a tough situation. Okay, that's a tough situation, and you know what? I would bet this young lady who made this little post saying, her circumstances don't change based on her being good. Well, she probably take any of them brothers. Okay, she probably take any brothers. You struggling, you in prison, you want a better chance for yourself. You might want to reach out to her because in her mind, you only get the same people. Okay. Now we know these hoes like prison dudes. We know that. Okay. That's been, well, at least if you listen to me, you should know it. Because I've been saying that since day one. These hoes love a nigga who compromised, and who's more compromised than a man who went to prison. Okay, that's real talk. Who's more compromised than a man who went to prison? And shout out to Black Who Strike. He said, you mostly only see her face. She probably have more weight than she needs to have to vie for the best brothers. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Black Who Strike. You know what? I've only really seen her face. So I'm gonna say yes, I accept that she's a fat chick. She doesn't necessarily have to be a fat chick, but if you look at her face, she don't have the thinnest, she ain't got the thinnest cheeks. I'll just say that, y'all. She don't have she don't have the thinnest cheeks either. So if you keep all that extra weight and you trying to vie for men's attention, it is what it is. You're just not gonna get it like that. And black women, I mean, they're mad. They can't just get men like that when they fat. Just is what it is. And I think they mad at brothers too, because brothers have a workaround. women like men who go to work. So if a man makes some money, he gonna get some pussy. It just is what it is. Man makes some money, he gonna get some pussy. I ain't even saying he got to give the money to the woman. It's the fact that he makes some money, she'll give him some, trying to see what she can extract out of. It is what it is. But for women, they don't really have that. Because number one, they don't want to take care of men. Now, Oprah, a big girl, she's been a really big girl at times. I think she might possibly be in halfway decent weight right now. I ain't seen Oprah in a good while, But I mean, me, I understand what it is. If I mess with Oprah, I'm gonna mess with her because Oprah got a heck of a lot of money. Oprah's a billionaire. But let's keep it real. Men don't want to talk to her like that. You've heard of one man in her life, and that's Ben Stedman. And a lot of folks don't even believe Stedman is truly the man in their life. They think it's her friend. I can't think of that lady name
Gail
right
King,
now.
Gail King.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's really gay. Y'all don't even believe Stedman hitting that. You know what I'm saying? People don't even believe Stedman hitting that. But at the end of the day, you've heard, I'm pretty sure many men laugh and joke about how they would get with Oprah, but only because she's a billionaire. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why they'll give
Roger.
it. It's only because she's a billionaire. you know? You don't hear too many men talking about how they'll just quote unquote get with Oprah. The only person I know who's ever said, now Jamie Foxx said it. Like he said he'll get out with Oprah. He the only one. Ain't nobody else repeated that joke. It's been Jamie all by himself. Now I'm not gonna say he didn't make a funny joke when he first said it the first time, but ain't nobody else repeated it. No comedian, no regular man. Okay. Now I get a comedian wouldn't necessarily repeat it, but even the people who ain't other celebrities ain't repeated. It is what it is. Jamie out there on the island by himself. Everybody else talking about, nah, I need that bread, Oprah. And Oprah ain't coming off that bread, so it is what it is. Okay. She done kind of made that clear. I need that bread, Oprah. But Oprah don't like the idea of taking care of a man, obviously. So it is what it is. Okay. Shout out to Joel Breezy. He said Dave Chappelle did the skit about Oprah having his baby and being rich, right? Exactly. Even in jest. He said, Oprah got that bag, and that's the only reason I do it. Even in jest. Dave Chappelle, one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest. Yeah, I'm gonna need that scratch, okay? I'll impregnate you so I can have access to that scratch. This is only about the one. So I think sometimes women are just kind of angered by that they could just see a man who go to work and all of a sudden he can have hoes because he go to work. Or even if he ain't working, he could actually be a pookie out here and not make any real legal income. But if he makes some bread, hoes want to holler at him. It is what it is. So I think they mad about that. And this young lady, yes, I've never seen below her neck. I've never seen below her neck, which is a great indication that she's fat. And she know that's going to hurt her. Because a fat woman can say something. And sometimes, because society teaches us to look at presentation far more than information. Well, if a fat woman said it ain't nobody going to really hear her. Let's just keep it real.
Roger, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she done told on. She told on herself. She said she was a big girl, a real big girl.
She did.
Yeah, she did. So and now but she has lost weight. I think in the last 4 or 5 years since she got on the internet, she lost a lot of weight. A lot of weight she lost. So she was one, and she has a type. She has that. She has a type. She likes uh, sh- uh, what is it? Tupac with a suit on.
She
She
like
doesn't
niggas
want
in the
no.
street.
Yeah, that's what she wants. So she wants a thug guy that made it rich. So she has a type. She was a big girl, so she wasn't getting no play. She lost the weight, and now she's an older chick. And so the thing is, Tupac, the one that she wanted, are not really just shooting at her, and are they not successful?
Well,
And that's
I'm gonna say based on what she said, she like trifling men.
yeah,
I'm gonna just keep it real like that. She like trifling men, based on her own words.
yeah,
She said, "I don't get nothing different than the hoes."
yeah.
Okay, well, what kind of men are we talking about when you say what the hoes are getting? So that means she like trifling niggas.
Yeah. And so
Now,
and she can't maintain the trifling Negroes.
and my thing is, we supposed to feel some type of way because she like trifling niggas. Okay. The thing is, she's trying to spread stuff to women to say, "Hey, don't mess with those good guys." See, this is all some. I'm trying to pull you down with me. Okay, I'm down here. The guys that's cool. They ain't giving me no play. I done spent a lot of time going after these trifling niggas. I'm gonna say yes. There was definitely probably a element about her being fat that really got in the way of some other things. Because even if looking at her right now, you know, when people had them cheeks, man, that when you got them big cheeks, I mean, usually that's because you fat. Okay, women have bigger cheeks because they fat. So I ain't saying she didn't lose weight. Maybe she has lost weight. The question is, has she lost enough? Because beauty does make a difference when it comes to women. Beauty for being able to supply beauty for women is just like men being able to go to work and supply a paycheck. It's a huge thing for them. And she obviously wasn't willing to get the job done. Okay. Because if she was willing to get the job done, she'd already been married. So I'm not even guessing about, what she wanted to get the job. She didn't get the job done, which means she was unwilling to get the job done because she lives in a free society where she could have went to the gym every day if she wanted to. She just didn't do it. She didn't think having a husband was worthy of putting in some work. So now she on the internet complaining. And my thing is, this is nothing but low value rage. It comes in all kinds of forms. But it's a problem for black men because we care about it. That's what I'm saying. That's where we mess up. We start caring about their complaints. Shout out to Black Rule Strikes. He said saw Oprah in person during the Slim period. Yeah. Now I'm laughing because he has to describe when he met her. It was during a Slim period because we know Oprah would go up and down, up and down. So he's making it clear that we know it was one of her Slim periods. Okay. Shout out to Black Rule Strikes. He saw Oprah in person during a Slim period in the 90s. She was actually better looking than I expected. You see, and that type of stuff can work if you would actually keep yourself together. Now I think where it happened for Oprah was that because she had some money, she was on some I ain't gotta do all that. Black women love trying to hide behind money. Well, I got some money, so I don't have to go to the gym like that. I got a job, so I don't have to do anything consistent with beauty. Even though men ain't looking for women because of what they're producing, we're looking at what the heck do you look like. Black women are quick to tell you about their PhDs, their masters, their bachelors, the fact that they have some college at all, or the fact that they work at such and such place. When did men ask y'all to get jobs? The average black man does not want his wife working in the first place. But they stick with this whole thing about, hey, I got this job or I got this degree. It's all about I can earn some level of income. That's what they're saying to us. I can earn some level of income, so therefore you should accept me. What they got to do with how ugly you are? Okay? You're still ugly enough to be single. And that's not saying somebody's truly ugly. It's just you're ugly enough to still be single, which means ain't nobody locked you down yet. So what is telling me that gonna do? Okay. What is that gonna do? Now I'm gonna say shout out to UK Arsenal. He says 70% of debt in US comes from women. It's not an issue that it comes from women. It's the fact that they got themselves employed so they could carry all this debt. See, a lot of us, we forget that. You have to have the ability to carry the debt in the first place. She get the debt and she don't want to pay the debt off. Now, my thing is, if you get debt and you don't want to pay the debt off, you want me to pay the debt off. This ain't rocket science. It shouldn't be rocket science to anybody, y'all. If a woman would not pay her debt off, that means she has a goal that she's going to meet a man one day and she's going to have that man pay off that debt. That's where her goal is. Now, you can accept that or you can reject it, but it ain't going to stop it from being the truth. Okay? That's what you got to know as a man. Why haven't you paid off your debt? So at the end of the day, you got to ask a woman about her debt. Is this a new debt? It's an old debt? Is most of this debt, is it from a car you just bought? It's from college? Or when did you graduate? When did you get that degree? Where is all this debt from, and how long ago is this debt from? And if she got sitting debt that's been there for like decades, which a lot of even the women who think they better because they went to college, they'll have that debt, and they done had that debt 10 years old, ain't really did nothing with it. That's because you supposed to come in and handle that. That's what the plan is. She may not have told you the plan, but that's what the plan is. But I'm going to slow down real quick so I can give it to Inspired Truth Broadcast who then came up. You got the mic, my brother. How you
All
doing?
right. Doing good. I hope everybody's having a marvelous Monday over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gosh, like and then also y'all folk in the chat as well. There's a lot going on here. Like I gotta look at it like multiple levels. Like on the one hand, you're looking at like the simple fact that she's kind of like reducing everything to like one particular attribute instead of looking at the totality of the whole calculation when it comes to actually like choosing her as a actual serious relationship person to be with. Like that's the first thing. The second thing going on here is that I totally expect to see the non 304s and the 304s all in the same bucket dealing with the same dude, because chicks actually do kind of like who other women like. Like that makes perfect sense to me. Like you're gonna have some broke chicks, you're gonna have some rich chicks, you're gonna have some educated, some non-educated. Like yeah, they all be kind of like going and kind of crowding up on the same dude because women like who other women like. That makes absolute perfect sense. But the lack of competitiveness is what we're actually kind of seeing here. We're seeing that, okay, she wasn't like cute enough to secure the guy that other women want. So then she's kind of on a rant about it. And a lot of this stuff kind of just comes down to those types of rants. But I'm gonna chill for now and just kind of sit back and then get into some more stuff that y'all bring up in the panel.
All right, now I'm gonna say shout out to Black Google Strikes. He says she also is upset she wasted a lot of prime years not being a hoe. Shout out to Black Google Strikes. Yeah, I'm gonna say you got to be right about that one. Her thing is, I wasn't good enough to be somebody's wife, so therefore I should have took that time and been a hoe with it. You see that this is that spirit of regret. But dang, nobody married me anyway. I should have just been a hoe. Which means what? The desire is for her to be a hoe. Because you don't make statements like that without that desire. You know? And this is the crazy part. She put this out there because she want us to care. She want us to send her money or, get her views or whatever. I'm assuming she's a content creator. Like I said, I haven't seen her face before, but I've been known she hated me. And so it ain't like I be going to her page to check out what she got to say.
Roger, yeah, she's a disagreeable. When she was younger in the 20s, she was an overweight, disagreeable woman that liked to argue and fight. She didn't get herself together till she probably got to her 30s and lost a little bit of weight. And she's still disagreeable, and she has the type. She demands a lot, but gives a little bit, but doesn't want to give a lot.
Yeah, here's the thing. Another thing to think about and consider is like they'll always like women like this will always kind of die anyway. But she didn't actually get anything for real. Like she just got like bedroom access to dude, But then that'll be kind of like portrayed as, oh, I got the same type of dude. You didn't get anything.
I feel you there. You saying she didn't really even get a man. She just pretending like she had a man. And I definitely can agree with that because if you've been big for a significant period of time, you're not really having relationships like that. It's just guys that have hit it because he ain't had something better to hit that night. And let's just be realistic about what that is. You with the fat chick because you didn't have a better option that night. Because the nights you have a better option, you over it with that other option. And this is the thing. She want us to feel bad about it, y'all. She want us to be upset that she can't get a decent man to want her. Why would I care? Now, I do understand there's a lot of men that do care, and she understands that, which is why she put it out. I'm saying as men, though, we got to cut this mess out. Look who we got jaw jabbing at us about why we ain't doing what she want us to do. Now, again, y'all, I'm not going to say this woman is ugly. She just regular, okay? But she extra regular. There's nothing special about her from a looks perspective. So I got to listen to this regular chick go off on men because she couldn't measure up to what we wanted. This don't make sense. And I do think from an overall Black community standpoint, we think in this way far too much. She shouldn't be comfortable saying anything to Black men. And that's real talk. You're not a virgin, okay? And from what y'all telling me, she done had weight problems too. She shouldn't even be comfortable trying to talk to Black men about what we supposed to do. She should be ashamed of herself. She talking about how y'all trying to shame women. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're 30 years old and ain't got no husband. Something's clearly wrong with you. You should be ashamed. And whatever that thing is, you could go fix it yourself. Now, based on what everybody's saying, it seems like the attitude is the thing that really kept her off from having a husband. Okay? So now you're 30 plus years old and you still can't even get your attitude right. And let's just look at the little clip. Did this clip sound appealing in any kind of way? She's still obviously a woman that thinks she can insult me and then end up with the best kind of man.
Yeah, she's going to insult you into a relationship.
Exactly.
And Roger, she came after the Passport Brothers, and she did some. They started to show her all the proof of all the marriages that the Passport Brothers go. So she had to be quiet about that because she was coming at like, why y'all get to go, and then you get, and they showed a bunch of guys sent her a bunch of married couples that were successful and happy, a bunch of good-looking women with a bunch of Black men. So she had to back off of that.
So she
showed
mad
the proof.
It worked.
They showed the proof, yeah. Like these men are getting it done.
I mean, shout out to the Passport Bros. And that's what things like that make her have to face the reality of her own choices. This little piece of rage is really her accepting that I've been a hoe for a good period of time. Because it's long enough that she's not married. See, people say, well, you don't know what a good time. She didn't get married, so she was a hoe, obviously, for too long. She didn't say I was a virgin. She said, I wasn't out there like that. Now, that's her definition or her perception of like that. What a man's perception of out there like that usually never comes close to a woman's perception of like that. Because when women say I ain't out there like that, usually they mean I haven't had sex with hundreds of men. That's what they usually talk about. I ain't had sex with hundreds of men. Because see, they know body count numbers in ways that men don't know. Men, we make assumptions about body counts for the most part. Women know about the body counts. They know their friend slept with Terry. They know their friend slept with Mike. They know their friend slept with Sean. Even if they don't even think about what they do, and they say in their own mind, well, I did this, but it didn't count. They know what their friends doing.
You have an excellent point. I'm just saying, you have an excellent point there. Like, we get to see the tip of the iceberg, and they get to see how deep that really goes.
Yeah. She know her friend slept with Tony, slept with Andrew. You know what I'm saying? Slept with Devon. Slept with Xavier. She know all that stuff. So even when women because they be in this delusional world about what they did. They know what their friends did. And as they say, birds of a feather flock together. You know? Now, she may not tell you she had a train rain on her, you know, but she remember her friend Tiffany was at the same orgy she was at. You know? she looked at herself in a good light. But she looked at Tiffany like when Tiffany was at that orgy, she took 3 dudes at the orgy. You know? So she gonna look at it a little bit different way, but they know what it is, okay? That I try to read some Black Guru saying, but I gotta laugh at this one. He says, "Her, imagine how many dicks I could have slurped." Well, obviously, this post is her regretting she didn't do it. Okay, this is what she's regretting, y'all. You know, Damon was trying to give me some, and I went home. I should have just took it. They say Damon was packing too. I should have just took it. So yeah, she is upset that she quote unquote saved herself. Now notice she upset she saved herself. She's not a virgin, but she's upset she saved herself from all the activity she could have did. Now, my thing is, I don't even get a comparison. You're not even trying to tell me what you actually did so I can compare it to what you gave up. So you want to give me this little secretive thing, and I'm supposed to just figure out that, you know what, she right. You know, she said it, so she got to be right. I don't buy into this. Okay? I don't buy into this at all. You know, if you have that desire to be a hoe, you had it a long time ago. And I'm gonna keep it real. If you got that desire to be a hoe, I don't know that you weren't one. Because only somebody with a true desire can be mad that they was quote unquote too celibate. Who gets mad at themselves for not having sex? That's a person who really believe they missed on something. Now I'm a man too, y'all. I've thought about it, you know, over the years, you didn't recognize certain things. So, you know, there was other chicks you could have slept with, but you didn't recognize it at the moment that the opportunity was there. I ain't never got mad about it. I just didn't pick up on game at that particular time. But I ain't never been upset that I ain't sleep with the chick. You know, like, who get mad about something like that? But I'm going to slow down because we got another guest. We got, suck at being a hoe. Interesting name. You got the float on, my brother. Suck at being a hoe. You got it.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday, brother.
What we got here is a former representative of the Big Back League who's mad. She's mad. And I've seen a video of her where she was lusting after a guy who looked like your stereotypical Pookie. You know, he had the body, he had the tattoos. He looked like a guy who might be in and out of jail. She was lusting after him. So when she say that they only get what the men that the hoes get, that's because they love the same type of man.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she's not quote unquote a hoe. You know, they still love the same Pookies. That's why she's mad. Well, it wouldn't be too hard for her. She wanted a productive Pookie. A Pookie who would go to work and make her a wife. And also, I've seen pictures of her back in the days. Yeah, she was huge. She was probably letting the man that she likes, who doesn't like her, run through her. And now she ran out of time. You know, she sucked at being a hoe. She should have locked down a Pookie. And now that she's making a little bit of money on social media, all that is gassing her head up. She thinks that she's too good for all the men that is available to her. Because all of a sudden she wants a man who has 4 million followers. And the men with that kind of clout and social standing are not checking for her. She wants Roger. Roger ain't going.
You scared me just when I heard my name. I got scared. Now, shout out to Black Who's Straight. He said they know Keisha be busted wide open for the Arab at JJ Fish store owner for free lemon pepper catfish. Now that's real right there, y'all. That is a very real thing. Back in the day, I didn't know black women was busting down for all kinds of men. But as I grew up, I started finding out the black woman was busting down for all kinds of men. So, little lemon pepper go a long way. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to Black Room Strike. Little lemon pepper go a long way. And you know what? That makes sense. And look, I'm not trying to destroy her as a person. I'm just looking at the concepts that she put out here. Because she said, I don't get nothing different than what the hoes get. So you identify the hoes, and then you go after the same men that the hoes are sleeping with. That's what she said, y'all. Okay? That's what she said. I identify who the hoes are. I don't consider me as one of the hoes. I consider me as a good woman. She said that out of her own mouth. So, but I don't get no difference in the pool of men I deal with. So what she only goes after the men that the women who she identifies as hoes go after. Now, I'm supposed to take her serious.
So
Yeah, there's
that
so
makes
many
sense.
levels, so many layers going on there. Like the first layer is like, are you sure you're not a 304? Are you sure you're not a hoe? Like, because a lot of hoes won't realize the fact that they're a hoe. Like, even if they selling it, they like, well, I don't do this all the time, so it don't really count. And like, there's so many mental gymnastics things going on there. And then on top of all that, they still go after the same men anyway.
She's had a whole Pro Max. She's a whole light.
Well, I'm gonna say the thing about her is I'm looking at what she said out of her own mouth. I don't get any difference in the pool of men than what the hoes get. So that means the women she identified as hoes, I'm only going after those kind of men. So that's not me getting on her. I'm just telling y'all what she said out of her own mouth when you actually think about the language that she used. So if you a man and she don't think you can get the hoes, she ain't interested. Now the question is, how certified is a hoe if it's a hoe to a woman? Because women let a lot of stuff slide and they be like, she's not no hoe. A woman will see her friend having sex with a guy. She'll cheat on the guy she's in a relationship with another guy, and she'll look at that woman and not come to the conclusion that she's a hoe.
Oh, but Roger, I don't have any whole friends.
What was he? I mean, them saying that type of stuff as it is. She done went out with a woman who's about to get married. They had a bachelorette party, and she had sex with 3 strippers, and she don't look at her friend as a hoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it don't count. What happens in there, it happens in there. It stays there.
A woman will be there, see her friend get proposed to. She'll accept the proposal. And then, a week later, she's sleeping with her other guy, her side nigga. The friend knows she's sleeping with the side nigga, but that's her friend. She don't see a hoe.
Don't count because the moon was so bright. It's all kinds of BS to get around it. Like, yeah, it's always some sort of excuse.
So what I'm saying is women have a difficult time seeing hoes in the first place. And she say what the good women get and the hoes get are the exact same thing. So I'm trying to say what level that she sees these women as hoes. How much have they really done? You know, because she's seeing them as
Huh?
hoes. You see what I'm saying? Women have a hard time coming to the conclusion that another woman's a hoe. So ain't no telling what them hoes was doing. Because she concluded that they hoes. There's literally no telling what those hoes are doing. But she says she messed with the same men.
But Roger, there's level to this shit.
I mean, there's a lot of levels. And for her to see a woman at a level that she says the woman's a hoe, that means that chick done did some of everything. Because she see him as a hoe. The hardest thing to do is one of the hardest things to do is to convince a woman that somebody she knows is a hoe. They let all kinds of stuff slide. You know, and then for the fact that I can't agree to this because I got to reserve my right to do it one day without being called a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you mean to tell me this woman sleeping with 3 different men and she not no hoe? Well, but you see, one man is her husband, the other guy, you know, she done known him for like 15 years. They went to school together, you know, and then the other guys at work and see, but her husband was messing up. The other guy was kind of looking out for her, giving her a shoulder to cry on. Heck, he'd even bring her food from time to time. She's not really no hoe. She was just in a bad state for a while. Now, we know women done said this type of stuff. So for another woman to say what these hoes is getting, and then say, oh, I get the same thing, that tells me what she was chasing down. And I'm going to say chasing down, because if you've been big the whole time, you know, it ain't like the men was coming after you like that. You will position yourself so somebody can hit it when they came up short. The fellas will go out, they'll kick it, and then, you know, maybe 5 guys went out, but only 3 guys pulled somebody to come on with them that night. You know, one of them other 2 guys gonna go and give you some because you around. You know, you use the fact that you're a woman to get other women to talk to the guys, and then when they come up short, you get some dick. Hey, I know the game. But for her to say, you know, I'm getting the same thing as these hoes, boy, the level of what them women were doing for her to even come to the conclusion that they a hoe is probably amazing. But I'm going to slow down right now because we got my main man, Shark Sims, done came up. So I'm going to let him get the mic. You got it, Shark.
Hey, what's up, Roger? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
No, I'm messing with you. How y'all fellas doing today? Happy Monday. Happy belated Father's Day to everybody. Also, definitely got
Show enough. I forgot to say at the beginning of the shows, happy belated Father's Day to everybody out there.
Yeah, Roger ain't shit, y'all. You see how you do, y'all? Happy belated Father's Day to everybody.
I'm not standing there for the moment.
on to the topic, right? The reason why she's getting the same thing that the hoes are getting is because look at her and listen to her. She's fat. She's arrogant. She's kind of like, she sounds like she's a straight up a bitch. She mean, and the illest part of it is she's ghetto. Like, these women don't realize you really have to separate yourself from the hoe in not only behavior but appearance in how you conduct yourself. A nigga can't tell the difference between her and the hoe because she talk just like him. She move her head and neck just like him. So she's gonna get exactly what they get. And then on top of that, she's fat, so she's always gonna get leftovers. She always gonna get poop. She always gonna get the pookies. She always gonna get the homosexual type of dude. Especially with an attitude like that. Now, if she fat and she got a good attitude, and she come with butter crunch cookies in her pocketbook, who knows who she could get? She might even be able to get hot sauce. You never know. But
Yeah, they don't.
but that's her problem. And I tell her it's this is it, they're not getting the same men that good girl like good women and these women are not getting the same men. They're not. It's hoes and this mean ass black women who's out of shape that's getting the same men. The good women, they are not getting those dudes. You know. And I'll sign off with that. My bad, Roger, if I went over my two.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. And I think you made some very correct statements. And at the end of the day, my thing is, what man is there to verify that you good? I want to see the man who claimed that you good.
Her father,
right about
her father said that she wasn't a hoe. So she's not.
Well, I mean, him saying she's not a hoe is not even saying she good. Let's be real. He might just be on some realist. Look, at least my daughter ain't no hoe. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is the thing. I don't know she not no hoe. A lot of people, a lot of women don't count certain bodies they have because of what the conditioning was. And at the end of the day, I got to take that stuff into account. A woman be like, well, we wasn't in no real relationship, so it don't really count. That's not a real body. The dude that had sex with you 28 times, that ain't nobody. But see, we ain't never been together. Roger. We ain't never been together though. They count as weird.
He didn't hit it raw. He didn't hit it raw, Roger.
You know what? On some real stuff, there are some women who literally will say, if he had a condom on, it don't count. Think about that. If he had a condom on, it don't count. It's not a real body. Okay.
I heard that one. I definitely heard that one before too, Roger.
Yeah.
He didn't crucify her.
Yeah. So my thing is, look, I accept women gonna be hoes. I understand that. I'm not even tripping that women gonna be hoes. What I am saying is the only reason this is problematic is because we as men, we care about this stuff. Now we can front like we don't care, but why she make the video if we don't care?
No, she made the video because she can't get a good dude, and she mad that everybody else is able to do it or at least almost get there. Like that's all that is. Like they hate hoes too, because at least a hoe can land a dude. At least a hoe could act cool. You know what I mean? Cover up put a turtleneck on. This chick right here in the picture could put a turtleneck on and cross her legs at a dinner, and she might be able to pull something. Ain't no fat girl fat girls don't got that superpower. And that's her problem. And she's and she's a hoe, Roger, because she's wearing pajamas while in the bed while she's talking, making a video. That's just the intro to a porno.
You got a point there, I guess. Look, check it out. Like we have to deal with stuff like, they're not a hoe, but because like they were in a bind and Nate was available, so that doesn't count.
Shout out to Black Hula Strikes. He says, and she was smile at the same friend, kiss a man saying, I do it at a wedding while using that same nasty mouth she used while jawboning a stripper, Big Dick Daryl, only 2 nights early. All right, so now this is a real thing, y'all. This is a real thing because there are women who don't believe they hoes. But yeah, they was just getting that at the bachelor party. Yeah, and it was only 2 nights ago. Sometimes it's only a night ago. And they don't think that counts. They don't think that counts.
They don't count the bodies that they catch when they're on girls' trip because it was overseas and on the boat.
Yeah, that different time zone.
And when a stripper come through for the bachelorette party, some of them women don't see themselves as hoes, even though they got men at home themselves, and they only suck the stripper dick. I ain't sleep with him. I only sucked his dick, so that don't count. We was having the fun. We got drunk, and then I sucked the stripper's dick. I'm not a bad person. I was just drunk.
Yeah, she's not a lesbian. She just eats coochie.
Yeah. Well, I'm just being real about what they. I'm just being real about what they said. Now, these women be out here sucking dick at the bachelor party, go home to their husbands. Oh, we didn't do much of anything. All right, y'all. We gonna hold fast. We got the honorable Toya is coming to the stage, so of course I'm gonna let her get the mic right away. It's always a pleasure to have her up. So, hey, Toya.
Hey, Roger, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. We always doing better when you come around.
Oh, don't make me blush. You can't see it. I just came up because I got a little triggered when you were talking about bachelorette parties because it made me realize I've actually never been to one. I have friends who've gotten married, but I've never been to a bachelorette party. And
You
I
missed
know
out on
there's
something.
two reasons. I know there's two reasons for it, right? One is I've never, and I know this is going to sound like cap, and at the risk of sounding like I'm lying, I'm going to say it anyway. I've never seen the allure of going to watch men strip. I've never got that. I've always felt like it was gross, and that if a man is willing to walk around or dance around naked, like it should only be for the person he's planning to do something with. I just have never. Now, on the other hand, I can understand men wanting to see women, right? Mentally, I can connect that. But for me to go sit in a place and watch grown men take the clothes off and dance in front of me and do stuff, I've never wanted to do that. It just seems weird to me. And the second reason I think is just I don't know. I because I'm not married myself, maybe I wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's not the second reason, but I've just never been to a bachelorette party. But one of the reasons I could totally say is because I'm not interested in seeing that. So if you had a bachelorette party and you were my friend and that was going to be going on, I'll see you at the wedding, sis.
Mm.
All right, quick question, if you don't mind. Like, do
Sure,
you think
sure.
maybe do you think maybe a part of it is that maybe you didn't want to see your friends in a different light, that you didn't want to see them like
It could be
differently?
that. It could be that. I think I've always been sort of a party pooper along those lines too, because even when it came to like girls' nights and wanting to go out to the club, I'm always the friend who's like, well, I'll help you guys get ready, but I'll be here when you get back. Because I'm just not into that. I've just never been into that. And the times
Yeah,
that I have gone to a
you're not
nightclub,
wild like they are.
yeah, I'm always the one like holding the coats and the bags in the corner because I'm just like, this is not my kind of partying. I love music and I cannot dance, but I love attempting to. But I'm just not into, I don't know. I'm weird, guys. So I was just triggered by the conversation and it made me want to come up and talk about that from a perspective that perhaps hasn't been considered. There's girls out there who just aren't into that. I don't know.
I don't
You're
think it's
not
weird to
weird. You're
not
not
want to.
weird.
No, I don't think it's weird to not want to carry somebody else's secrets. Like you go out there, you see
Oh,
something,
yeah, good
and
point.
now you
Good
stuck
point.
carrying that.
Good point.
Yeah, I think that's very that's a good decision, calculated decision. Sometimes depending on who the friend is, because like you said, you'll be carrying secrets, and if stuff ever come out, the question is, if my wife is caught doing something, I'm gonna look at her
Hmm.
best friend because I know
Hmm.
you was smiling in my face too. And I understand you supposed to have more loyalty to the person who brought you in there, but I'm gonna look at you too, like you been on this chick was sucking dick. You was with her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of an automatic thing. So if you go to the bachelorette party, and women for whatever reason they just like to get down at spots like that. Women are not tame, and they're in a quote unquote safe space. So ain't no telling what a woman gonna do at a bachelorette party, and that's just keeping it real. I hope I never am with the woman who asks me, can she go to a bachelorette party? And I'm not saying she could be absolutely kind of innocent, but I know what those places are like. Okay. Yeah, I've dealt with some stuff. I've seen firsthand how bachelorettes get down at the bachelorette party. It's an unholy scene, just real talk. And they understand this is their safe space, and we don't know when this safe space is gonna happen again. So a lot of women gonna take full advantage of it. That's
Hmm.
real
You
talk.
know, the crazy thing about it is that like, and then if you do say, "Hey, I ain't comfortable with it," then it'll be like, "Oh, you're insecure. Why are you so insecure?" and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I never care about a woman saying something like that. That's just me personally. And someone accused me of being insecure, but beforehand I told them, well, you know what? That's cool. You can just get out, and I mean get out forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about. I'm secure enough to not care about your opinion of me being insecure. See, a lot of men don't take it that way. I'm secure enough. I don't even care about your opinion of me being insecure. It doesn't even bother me. Okay. I'm secure enough for you to believe that I am insecure. So I'm good. You know, I'm gonna say, Toy, first of all, congratulations being smart enough not to put yourself in those in those situations. Cause
Thanks, I think.
no, I mean, unless you're gonna be low down and dirty, that it ain't the place to
You
go.
know,
It's not the
definitely
place to
not.
go. You
Yeah.
know.
I like
So
staying clean.
yeah, you made the right decisions. You know. And I'm gonna say, if chicks go to a bachelorette party, I ain't saying they had to have done something, but you ain't gonna be able to convince me you ain't done anything. I'm just gonna say it like that. You know, there are some who will just watch. I'm not gonna say there ain't some who are going to just watch, but will you know which ones just watch versus which ones participated? And I'm gonna tell you what, every bachelor party I know of, somebody always participated.
There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house.
Yeah, ain't been no clean bachelorette party, y'all. Somebody
Something
always
had to
participated.
something had to have happened for that song to even get recorded.
They ain't just make it up out of nowhere. you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, the women get down at the bachelorette parties, but I don't think that counts to any of them. That's not a real
Yeah.
thing. It was
I
just
think
a
you're
night,
right about that.
you know.
I think you're right about that. Like it's a free pass sort of thing. Um, and it's like I don't know, like doesn't for me it's like doesn't something register that what you're about to embark on is serious? So how are you being so flippant about what you're doing the day before it? I don't know.
Well, a part of it is going to be presented as okay, well, you're going to come out with all of this extra experience, and he's going to love all this extra experience that you came up to, and then you're going to have all this fun, and it's going to be a blast. So it's a twofer. It's
No.
killing two birds with one stone from that perspective.
And here I go being corny again because then to that I would say, what about the experience that you're going to gain with your husband and that you guys get to build on together? Like what what about the sanctity of that? I don't know. That's weird to me to want to do that, get experience with somebody who's never going to benefit from the practice. I don't know.
Well, women's logic is different, so I wouldn't, I would. If you don't know, then I get you know damn sure we ain't gonna know. Y'all logic is wild, crazy.
But you know what, Roger, there's something to be said for what you were saying earlier. I think it was you saying they probably don't want you to hold their secrets or they don't think you can because I'm horrible at lying. And anybody who knows me personally knows that. Like if you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you straight up whatever it is that I know. And you'll be able to tell if I know more or if I don't know any more than what I've said. So, like, yeah, there's probably some truth to that personally for me because I used to get made fun of all the time for having too many morals. So, there's that.
We're gonna have a special after show today, featuring featuring Toy. Special. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh no, am I in trouble now? I didn't mean to put myself in
No,
trouble.
no. I just got a few questions. That's all. I just got a few questions. no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But I'm a hold fast. I appreciate what you just said, but I'm a hold fast because Bronk just came up, so I'm gonna let Bronk get his opening statement in, and then we'll continue. Bronk, you have the flow, my brother.
What up, Roger? What up, panel? What up, chat? Um, man, I watched that video. Everything she said in that video was immediately capped to me, man. What I think is a lot of women like her do, and we all know this, is they kind of give away their 20s, 30s, just to the streets, riding the carousel, and then when they get tired of it, and or they come to the realization that it's not going to secure them the man that they want, then they want to hit the 180s, so to speak. Those are the type of women you'll see get in the church and claim that they're a born again virgin. So you were saying something like, "Well, you go be that virgin to the guy in the church." That's hilarious to me because it's like if you're red pilled, you see who they are, but it's typically that guy in the church who's kind of seeing things through the blue pill perspective that doesn't know anything about who that girl really is, right? But those are the type of women that'll do that. They'll give away their youth in the streets, and then when they finally come to the realization again that that's not going to work out for them, then they want to kind of put on the mask, so to speak, when the damage is done, once they done already hit that wall. So I'm gonna land my plane there for now.
Well, I'm gonna say, even though it may sound a little crass, I think men got to make, we got to come to better realizations and accept what's really going on in the world and what someone's communicating to you. Let's say a woman tell me she a born again virgin, and y'all, I've seen you say that in the chat. Other people done said it in the chat, or a woman say she's celibate, right? Okay, cool. You're trying to be a better person. Now, my thing is this: if this is religious, if you can put God in it, then I'll give you some level of credit because now you're trying to please Him. But to tell me just on a personal level, has nothing to do with religion at all, that you're just not going to have sex with me, even though you've already had sex with some other man. Only thing I'm hearing is so you can suck his dick, but you ain't going to suck mine. It's not above you. So then this is just you. You're telling me you sucked this other guy's dick or multiple men's dick, but when it comes to me, you can't suck my dick. But you want me to spend money on you. You want me to treat you nicely. You want me to have nice conversation for you. You want me to, make efforts to show you that you matter to me. You want me to give you a sense of security and things around me. But you suck that other guy dick who didn't have to do none of this stuff.
They want you to treat them like they never sucked a dick in their life.
I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like you're trying to charge me more money than the person that got the same thing I want.
Trying to sell a Honda Accord for the price of a new Mercedes.
No, I'm not going to even go there with you. My thing is whatever the price is, you want to charge me more because I'm me. Because when he was him, you didn't charge him that. So you're charging me more because I'm me. Because you didn't even put God in it. I can at least deal with the woman at church, say I'm trying to do right by God because we going to church but no, you ain't even that woman. You just saying you going to charge me more, and it's based on nothing. I just want to charge you more money for the same thing. Now, I got to see my own intelligence and say, Roger, should I pay more money for the same thing that somebody else got for a cheaper price? Should Roger simply do that?
It's even worse, really, because she's charging you more than what another guy was charged, and there are other women that won't charge you as much as what she's charging. It's a twofer.
Well, I mean, I don't get to spend his money. You know what I'm saying? But I do got to spend my own money. So why would I spend more money on the same product that the other man got for far less than me?
Roger, they want princess treatment, but you have to ask your question. Your question should be: are you a princess? Are you a young virgin girl, a daughter of a king? That's who gets princess treatment.
Well, I mean, before we go into that, because that's to me that's a slight. I mean, that's a different level. That's a different level. So before I don't even want to put these two things together. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just looking at
it's far apart. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the fact that you're comfortable telling me that, you know what I'm saying? For me, it's $1,000, but for the other guy, it was just $1. You know what I'm saying? Just to put some perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's $1,000. But for that dude, it was $1. There's literally no difference in the product. So what am I getting out of this? Why would I pay, $999 more for something that's the exact same thing that the other guy got for $1?
Yeah, it's not a smart decision. And
Because you're
then
not
I
him,
don't think
Roger.
she can respect a guy that doesn't make smart decisions.
You're not him, Roger. You don't
No,
you you,
no.
you don't dress like Pookie. You don't look like Pookie. You don't got face tats like Pookie. You don't walk around here busting on everybody like Pookie. So of course you're gonna treat you different. Of course you gotta pay. and you're not even 6'7".
If
What are we doing?
women actually did that, then I could understand, but they don't even do that. That's just something men say women do, but you do not see that in women's track record. Women bust down all kinds of men.
They're off the track. They're not even close to the track. They're way off the track.
But here's more women logic. I've heard them say they give it up fast to the dude that they don't like, and they make the dude that they do like wait.
That's what it is.
If you try to understand their logic, your head will your little head on your shoulders will motherfucking bust.
Well, the thing is, that's why I just put it to the side, because a lot of women do exactly that. The guy they like, they want to make him wait because they're trying to seem valuable to him. But the guy they don't like, they just gave it up. So that tells you this very precious thing they supposedly have, because men keep talking about how precious it's supposed to be to them. And I get it. Women have claimed that it's very precious to them. But they have also said, if I don't like a guy, I just give it to him right away, so I can see if there's anything to this. But if I like the guy, I'm gonna make him wait. Now you got to make that make sense, because
it make my head hurt. That make my head hurt just listening to it, man.
These are very real things, though. These are very real things. And shout out to Black Rule Strikes. He said it's not a good thing for women who want to avoid trouble, because the nasty women are going to encourage everyone else to misbehave, so they are compelled to cover and lie for each other. Now he's talking about the women at the bachelorette parties, and I think Black Rule makes a very good point. If you go to the bachelorette party, you know what happens at the bachelorette party. So either you're going to participate, or you're going to watch a bunch of foolishness go on that ain't supposed to happen. So where are the good intentions in the first place? So I'm gonna say shout out to Toya for not going. You know,
they do that so you can't say, "Well, girl, you did this," because then so she can be able to say, "You did it too." So it's like a gang initiation thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't tell my husband because I tell your husband.
Now that's true. I have to co-sign that. I've seen that happen. I've definitely seen that happen, where it's like, well, I know where your bodies are, so you better not tell where mine are. And it's like, if that's what y'all call friendship, I'm gonna send myself out. Thanks, but no thanks. It's like a gang.
Shout you out for bypass. Y'all. Shout out to Afro Merch. He just put it in the chat. Price discrimination. All right, this is my thing. I'm a man. I got one life to live like this, just like everybody else. Why would I agree that a woman can charge me more than she charged the other guy? Some people don't think about it like this, but
I told you already, Roger. You're not a ham. You're not Pookie. Pookie get it for the free ski, but you the good guy. You gotta pay. You gotta come with a good credit, a nice crib, a big car, and a second car with extra seat for four kids that she got from Pookie, and all that good thing. You gotta pay more.
I'm gonna say all that's made up too, because it's not consistent with women's behavior. I can understand why men think that, because a lot of men say that, but it's not actually consistent with women's behavior. What's consistent with their behavior is they try to get something out of a man that they believe can give it. When it comes to what y'all say Pookie is, the thing is she just don't believe she can get anything from it. She don't ask for what she don't believe she can receive. If she knows you have something, she just simply asks for it because you have it to give, as far as she's concerned. So it's not even about a man's position. But the reality is she's telling you to your face that I'm okay with charging somebody else something that I want to charge you more for. And a lot of men don't have enough dignity on their own to just say, I don't care. I don't want that. I done told women straight up, look, let's not be fake. Are you a virgin? But no, I'm not no virgin. Okay, so you either gonna give me some or you're not. You're not out here not having sex. So either you like me enough to have sex with me or you don't. Well, I don't know. I kind of like you and I don't want to do this right away and all this type of stuff. Look, shorty, we ain't got to go nowhere together then, because you don't know that you like me like that. And I'm 100% okay with that, because I'm never going to be trying to convince no woman what she got to do for me or anything like that, or try to make her do anything she don't want to do. I'm just gonna accept that you said no, and we ain't doing nothing. So if you hit me with the "you like me," you better give it up. That's real talk. Ain't no way in the world you like me and you not giving it up.
Yeah, I agree. I gotta get on the discount program. Like either I'm attractive enough to get a discount, I'm high status enough to get a discount, or you're just horny enough so I can get a discount. But either way, I gotta get a discount.
My thing is, I don't look at nothing as a discount. You either like me so you giving it to me, or you're not giving it to me because you don't like me. I can't control a woman's viewpoint of me. I just accept how I'm willing to treat myself. Either I'm so desperate that I got to be with this woman who don't like me, or I can just go find somebody who does. Yeah, see, I think this is just a key point where we care so much about what they think that it does not matter. If you're a virgin and you don't want to give me none, I'm 100% cool with it. But if you're not a virgin and you're not going to give me some, there's a problem. We're just not a match. I'm never going to tell somebody, don't be celibate if that's what you want to do. But if you're going to do it, go do it at the church. You know, at least be around some men that can understand why you're celibate. You know, show me that you going after something where celibacy is going to actually make a difference. You know, but if you ain't got nothing else going on with you, just telling me you don't want to give me none because you celibate with me. I don't know if you're going to be celibate with the next man.
Hey, the Ozzy Brothers got a song about that. It's called Choosy Lovers.
Wait, Roger, the female is selling bits? What you mean when you say selling bits?
No, I
selective
said
celibacy.
Yeah, I'm talking about celibacy, not her selling a bit out there on the corner.
Oh, I didn't even know what that word meant, celibate.
Celibate is somebody who's who's in the act of celibacy. You know.
Oh, I thought she was selling a little bit of seats. All right. Well,
my thing is they all selling a little bit of something that we're willing to buy. I don't buy stuff that don't make sense. That's just me. You know, you got this whole story about how you didn't have sex before, but you celibate now when I showed up. That's a cute story. I don't care about that story though. That story doesn't serve me in any way, shape, or form. And you know, and I don't want to just be cruel or anything like that. I'm just saying a reality. Your story doesn't service me in any kind of shape, way, or form. So why should I care? I don't care that you celibate. That's not an issue for me. That's a you issue. That's you going through your process, trying to figure out what's going on in your life so you can make better decisions. I don't care about your celibacy journey.
Last time a chick told me she was selling bits, celibate, I was like, I already got everything I need for my
drill. Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let these other guys get. Look, I am not ever going to say a woman should not engage in celibacy. Okay, you know, I'm gonna say always hold on to your virginity. Okay, as long as you can, do it till you're married because it's the best way to go. And if you're going to be celibate, I think it'll work if you with the right guy. Just don't expect a good man to be the right guy. That's all, you know, because what's the point of it? That's my thing. The average woman cannot even tell you the point of her being celibate. You know, they say they're going to go on these celibacy. Ask them why they're being celibate. They can't even express it to you, you know. And if you can't tell me why you're celibate, then I just figured it's nonsense. Because if it ain't nonsense, you should be able to tell me why. And shout out to Afro Merchant. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. He hit me with the $20.57 cash app. Thank you very much, my brother. And shout out to you for that trail penalty tax, y'all. That trail penalty tax add up, y'all. That 57 cents adds up after a while, okay? 57 cents 10 times, man. I got some, okay? I got 5, 7. I can buy something with that. So shout out to you, Afro Merchant. Appreciate you very much, my brother. Appreciate you very much. But we gonna make room, y'all. We got Dirty Sanchez coming in. Dirty Sanchez, good to see you, brother. You got it.
Salute to you, Roger. Happy Juneteenth to the chat. I would say it to the panel, but these niggas live around white people. Can't do that. Can't be doing that. And still shopping at the Asian wig store. Shame on y'all niggas. And happy Father's Day to the chat, and happy Father's Day to no placeholder single moms, because that nigga make y'all be fathers too. So shout out to y'all for being the mother and the father. Shout out to y'all.
Dude is dead.
So anyway, enough of that. So when we're talking about women having their lives, women have to live with their results. I think this is the path we need to take. I think right now in America, adults have to live with their consequences. And America just doesn't do that. America, they don't have to do that. Section 8 housing, right? Some sponsors from Bronx and Tell Inspired Truth. They just don't have to live with consequences. Even when they're 2 and 3 babies, right? You still got to use like no placeholder, still wife and a mom. So we got to treat them like adults, guys, and we got to start having respect. And it all starts with respect. And that's one thing I argue with Shark Sims and the Blade Master about, is that men gotta have respect. And once we have standards that we can live by and willing to leave black women, that's when things get better. And I'll pass the mic on that.
Hold on. Like I gotta respond to Mr. Ruffin there, like, because you mentioned something there. Like, I do have respect. We gotta have these hoes with patches like NASCAR when we're sponsoring them, so we know who the sponsor is.
I mean, that makes some sense. If you ask me, that makes sense. If I'm gonna put some money on it, I need to be represented. That's real talk.
Well, that nigga's represented a lot.
Well, I'm gonna say, I the only reason I kind of put this up, because I think this young lady who said the things that she said, she is just like a lot of other women who didn't get to where they are, but instead of taking responsibility for where they happen to land, it's now you're gonna be mad at random men who ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you in your position. As a random man, I don't have a responsibility to marry you. It's just that responsibility don't exist. Okay. Number two, a lot of black women don't actually want to be married to a black man in the first place. And to me, if you don't get married by 30 years old, it's more than likely it was a whole lot of white supremacy thinking in that anyway. So you were still putting yourself out there for white men, and it didn't work out. You ran out of time and the white man didn't pick you, and you just kind of salty about it. But you're not going to tell no black man that you salty that white man didn't pick you. Okay. Number three, if you were fat, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are telling me she used to be fatter. If you were fat, I mean, that's kind of on you. I don't know what to tell anyone about that, because there's no workaround for women. I mean, we joke about Oprah, but Oprah a billionaire. Who gonna become a billionaire so they'll get a man's attention? Okay, so I don't know what to tell women. This is something I've been dealing with women since I was a kid. Women to say something, well, blah, 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 the guys don't like it. And I used to tell them, no, they don't like you because you're fat. And people act like I said something wrong, or I shouldn't have said it. I'm like, hey, we telling her the truth or not? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hit it because she big. Ain't that the truth? So it is what it is. You might as well just tell them to get over it. I understand this whole body positive movement and all that type of stuff. And I understand that you're supposed to love yourself. I am not saying you can't love yourself, but you can love yourself while you fat and doing something to get rid of the fat. You can love yourself while you're doing that. It's not impossible.
You can love yourself and leave Roger out of it.
Exactly. You can do that 100% of the time. Yeah. Don't ask me to make concessions because of what you got going on. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
But see the problem, right? But see the problem. I first want to say I agree. I agree. I agree. But the problem is that there's going to be someone that's going to take it. Like for example, like we keep saying that men are not interested in women's money. There are a lot of men that would date women who have a lot of money if they could. If they could. Like Oprah has $1 billion. There is definitely at least 1 million dudes that Oprah can get right now, and I'm one of them. Absolutely one of them. So so I mean I think it's just but I'm not a billionaire, so she ain't trying to mess with me. That's the situation. What she want and what's available are two different things. I think we need to recognize that.
I mean, bro, Oprah's a billionaire, so yeah, that's extreme because there aren't too many billionaires walking around. Now, if a woman has some money, will there be guys that will take her because she has money? I mean, let's be realistic. Yes, it's guys that'll take because she has money. What these guys look like? Most of them are lazy guys.
Man, I am one of them. I would put a ball in her mouth.
No. Take it off Oprah. Take it off Oprah. Okay. Let's get back to regular folks.
Right.
What kind of man usually goes after a woman because they want money?
Pookies.
Exactly.
Yeah. But pookies are people too, though. That's all I'm saying, you know?
What? Okay, let me
Put that
tell
on
you
a shirt.
something.
Please put that on a shirt.
A decent woman who's making 500 and can put me in her house, pay for all the bills. I'm going to be the baddest bitch that she can ever get.
Yeah,
I think
people in the chat
and every time she come home, my body will be all oiled up. No DD. She gonna get her wood served on the stove and all that jazz. Yes, I'm one of them. Baby, put me in the house and give me that credit card, and we're good. I'm gonna cook for you. I'm gonna suck you off when you get off from work. I'm gonna do everything that a regular woman wants. Baby girl, I'm gonna be the baddest bitch you can ever
cut his
get.
mic off. Cut his mic.
Sounds like a compelling commercial.
Because Nick, see you look, what we're talking about is vacationing in the Hamptons, private planes, driving your Lambo plus your Ferraris. Man, y'all tripping.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this: when you add that much stuff into it, you're talking about people that don't really exist. We got to be real about that. Those people don't really exist. They're not even, you know what I'm saying? You know, they're not a big percentage of the population at all. Number two,
I am one of them. I'm being dead serious. I am one of them.
I get you, but the chances of you even getting to be with one of those people is next to none.
Absolutely. I'm just saying that she was like,
and you doing better than most folks.
Yeah. Hey, she's like, look, I'm accepting niggas' applications. I'm applying.
I totally get you. But like I said that there's a thing going on that we got to recognize. Yeah. Because I go out and I ask women on a regular basis, are you willing to take care of a man? And so far, 100% of them have said no. And I'm talking about I've asked people as young as 18, probably to as old as about 75.
No,
we agree. I said that in the beginning, right? I said that I said what's available and what you want are different. Because she don't want to take care of a man either, so I get that. Right?
Every day.
Okay. So whoever got somebody talking to somebody in the background, I need you to mute up. Whoever that is, making some, I guess, a transaction of some sort.
Okay. Tunnel runner.
Now, what I would like.
Let's see if it's tunnel. Yep, it was tunnel runner. Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, women don't want to be in that dynamic with men. So if they don't want to be in that dynamic with men, that's their personal choice. If you live in America, you get to make that choice. So now you got to accept that you don't want to take care of no man. So you got to be willing to be what a man is willing to take care of. Because you have a choice. Or you can just quietly take care of yourself and shut up. Because women can get jobs here. There's no thing where they have to be taken care of by men. Why can't you just get a job and be quiet?
Oh, Roger, who's going to eat a coochie?
That's too hard.
Who's going to eat a coochie? She got the money.
To get it from you.
You got
But
no
Well, I
yeah,
think
the
the
money.
job
nagging
part
is
might
there
be
because
easy, but the
nagging
be
works or
quiet
has
part,
worked.
What I am saying that we do live in a country with all these rules in place, and women can pretty much do anything a man can do. So why can't you just shut up, get you a job, and literally work to the day you die and shut up about it? Now
So
I understand a
who's
woman
going
trying to tell me something if she's gonna lay out all these parameters about how she gonna take care of me. Now if she tell
okay,
me I gotta
Roger.
be in the gym 5 days a week because she's willing to take care of me, that's one thing. But you ain't. Hey, what women out here talking about? Well, if you get in the gym 5 days a week, I can make sure you straight. Women ain't doing that. Now they also don't want to live by the man's rules, which they don't have to. So why can't you just get a job and shut up? You think this woman making this video? I don't see why she just can't get a job and shut up. And I ain't saying it's got to be a job. She could start her own business. If she's going to content create, cool. Talk about something other than the fact that men are rejecting you. It's not our job to take care of you. You got to do that for yourself. You don't want to be under the leadership of some man, which I understand is totally legal for a woman to not care about any man got to say about what's going on in her life. Cool. So shut up. Because ain't that the legitimate thing you're supposed to do? I don't want no man. I ain't going to listen to a man. So shut up then. Why are you talking to me?
That's too much logic, Roger.
Yeah. You know, I respect you as a woman. And I also respect the fact that you can shut up. I also respect the fact that you can get your own job. You can start your own business. You can go into the military. You can go to college or some trade school so you can eventually get a career where you take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can have your own business. There's nothing men can do that you cannot do as a woman. So why can't you just do it and shut up? That makes sense to me.
then you'll
That
have
sounds
to
like an
iron out. You'll have to iron out instructions for having to shut up. You know that your job will never be over, no matter how you slice this, Roger. You want us to shut up? Now you're gonna have to show us how to shut up because we don't know how to do that.
I think that it's an inspiring like Nike commercial though. Just do it and shut up.
But it don't have to be Nike. It could be a Roger for a commercial. Just shut up. Toy, I think you're right though. I don't know how women can
Have
accept
you ever been on
rejection.
a panel with a woman who refuses to let any, like I've been on panels and on other channels where it's like I'm deafeningly quiet because the other women refuse to, and like I don't understand this idea of if you hear someone speaking, whatever you have to say is so much more important that you're not going to let them finish. I really don't understand that. So yeah, you're going to have to iron out instructions for us to learn how to shut up because some of us are just not equipped with the ability. And I've seen it so many times.
I've been on a panel with a woman who don't know how to shut up before. I ain't gonna say her name, but everybody know who we talking about here.
Well, I've definitely been on the panel with a woman that just don't know how to shut up. And see, this is my thing. And I want men to really get this through women's head. We do respect you. And we respect the fact that you can do everything we can do, which means you're not my problem. I don't have to make sure you're okay in society. At the end of the day, you're not. I don't owe you any special treatment. You don't have to be okay, and that's fine. You could be out here busted and disgusted, and that's okay because you're a woman. And if you want it better, you have better. You know all the stuff they say about men. If you want it better, you have. When you want it better, you would have better too. What's wrong with you starving to death? What's wrong with you being out here begging and can't make it in life? What's wrong with you being injured and not having money to make sure you're taken care of? All that's fine because it's fine for men. So if you don't want to respect the man who's willing to put money on you, put money into you, invest into you, however somebody wants to say it, you don't want those guys. So, okay, let's remove them. Now, there's the other guys that You want to tell what to do, but you can't afford to tell them what to do. So we need to remove those guys. Okay, cool. So we done remove these sets of guys. So who we got left? Basically nobody. So at that point, it's time to shut up. If you hate men that much that you don't want to listen to no man, and I ain't saying you got to, but then you say you don't want to take care of no man, you don't want to pay for a man to listen to your instructions, then who we got left? And I think this is just a hard thing for women to accept, which is why this woman in this video is complaining. She don't want to listen to the men that was willing to pay for her, but she also don't want to pay for the men that she wants to have them do what she wants them to do. Because we have this attitude out here like women can't pay us to do stuff. Well, as a man, you're supposed to do this. As a man, you're supposed to do that. Baby, can't you get full-time employment too? You know, and I know it was said somewhat jokingly, but Suckhead being a hoe made a good point. Why can't you put the man in a $500,000 house? Why can't you tell him he got to be at the gym 5 days a week? Why can't he have his body glistening in oil when you come home? Because you don't want to do that for a man that can afford it. You know, you don't want to do lesser things for men who can't afford all that. You know, the guy who can put you in the $100,000 house. You don't want to listen to nothing he got to say. He ain't asking you for as much stuff. You know? And I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. I understand it's not politically correct, but being a housewife ain't that difficult. If all I had to do was wash some dishes, you know, had a house clean by the time some woman came home from work, give her sex whenever she want to have it, you know, and we had some kids, okay, I take care of the kids. That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I ain't gonna lie. It sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I got
Being
all
a
these.
woman isn't difficult. Like, that's the whole thing. We'd rather make it hard, but it's not difficult just to be a woman. But you'll hear so many women complain about how hard it is to be a woman and how y'all don't understand what our plight is and the struggle. And it's like this dizzying predisposition to run ourselves in circles that we created only to ask y'all to help us get out of it. That's probably the hardest thing about being a woman is that we create our own problems and then expect for men to help us get out of them. But if we don't do that in the first place, it's really not hard being a woman. It's not.
Now, I appreciate you saying that very much, too. I really do. And you know what I'm gonna say? Realistically, we invented all these different things for women. Because when you're not really that concerned about what women got to do, I don't think you come up with a bunch of inventive ideas. Because I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. I ain't never been all that concerned with what women got to do. And I ain't never invented nothing either. But if you have true concern with what women have to do, you start making stuff. Why does a washing machine exist? I mean, let's be real about that. Women was out here washing clothes on a washboard or whatever, and somebody had the idea, well, let's make washing easier. They ain't do that for men. They did that for women. You know, I'm trying to make life better for a woman. Why does a car exist? Let's make life better for women. They don't like being on these carriages and going these long routes and all this. If you're inventing stuff, you really, I mean, I'm not saying everybody had that thought process of I'm gonna make this for a woman, but when you start making stuff to solve problems, why are you doing that? You're doing that for women. Even if you're not even thinking in the mode of women. If you're simply a person that says, let me come up with a solution to a problem so people will purchase this and I can make money off solving this particular problem, why are you doing that? So I can take care of a woman. But women will say we don't understand.
I have to push back a little bit. Cars were designed for men. Like car enthusiasts, I'm a car enthusiast. I love tuning cars and things like that. So cars are for men, but for the most part, washing machines do inconveniences, and electronics all were designed to make women and housework easier, and that's one of the reasons. And actually, there's studies out there that showed that electronics, home electronics, is one of the number one ways that is actually a driver lead in a nationwide divorce because when you made work easier, you devalued it, and this is where women are coming from. The reason why they're hating to be a woman is because men made their job so easy that women no longer value it like they did in the 80s and the 50s without a microwave, where you had to go fetch the water from the river, where you had to clean in the lake, right? So, the easier home economics became, the more women devalued it.
And to that, I want to add, it also gave us a little bit too much idle time, which is why you get all the other stuff. Um, to your point about cars being made for men, I'm so glad you said that. I literally just made a TikTok last week about how women should not have rights to drive because we can't be bothered with simple things like making sure we have enough gas or oil to make the thing work. But then we come to y'all like, what happened? We don't know what's wrong. And it's like, well, when's the last time you actually put some oil in this thing? There, to your point, what Dirty Sanchez, to your point, in the past, and Black Uru's point in the chat, y'all used to be able to shut us up. In the past 30 or 50 years, those things have been outlawed. But guess what you got? You got women thinking we can do everything y'all can do, women in the workforce clogging up jobs that used to go to able-bodied men, women driving cars that they can't be bothered with understanding the spatial awareness of, so they're crashing them or they're not getting oil changes and keeping gas in it, women running up credit card bills because guess what? Now we have bank accounts and we get to do stuff with our own money. So I'm not seeing the upside in all of this. Just saying. And that's coming from a woman who has a job and has a car. I'd rather not have these things and be able to be a housewife or um, just a loving wife and helpmate to a man who can do all those things and is sanctioned to do all those things. I think if we had that reset to walk back a lot of those laws, those things that have been outlawed that we was talking about in the chat, the country would be in a much better place. But that's not popular. I can't say that in a group of women.
Hey, Toy, can I ask you, could you personally be with a man who is lower middle class, but pays all of his bills on time, doesn't make more than
Absolutely.
$75,000 a year,
Absolutely.
can't send you on 3 to 4
Absolutely.
vacations a year? Okay.
Absolutely.
See, and that's what I
Because one
believe the
thing I'll
problem with
learn,
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because one thing I'll learn is all of the error of my own ways and things that I have been taught. You know, that's that's attractive to me. You know, being able to do what is needed with what you have versus trying to outlive your means. Sign me up.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the problem with most women in this modern era is they want way more than that. You know, they want way more than a man who is paying the bills on time, responsible, a great father, a great husband. They want him to be able to afford all of these fancy trips across the world, drive the fanciest car, have the 3 car garage, and every woman essentially isn't even on that level herself. Doesn't even know how to manage those spaces herself, right? But they're all shooting for that type of man.
I'm
and
gonna.
and it's interesting because they'd actually settle essentially for being a side chick to that type of man than a wife to the lower middle class guy.
Well, I want to say this. I think we got the pulse wrong. I think that women they 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 require these things because they don't want to do anything. They're lazy. They don't want to do anything. So
You're right.
if you can afford the chef, you can afford the maids, you can afford, that's easy. I don't have to do nothing. Right? That's why they're asking for that, because you really ask women, okay, for the dude you love, what do you want to do from nothing? I don't want to do nothing for a man. Nothing. So that's why they're asking for that stuff, because they don't want to do shit.
Yep.
Well, who wants to work for a nigga?
So that's where all he has to make this amount of money, because or otherwise I'm a side chick. Because I like when you spit in my butt and put a finger in there, but I ain't gonna cook for you, nigga.
Oh, goodness, boy. This dude. No chill.
No chill, but he's definitely on point. At the end of the day, unless you was looking to do nothing, why do you need a man with all this stuff?
Yeah. She
You
don't
know,
want to do nothing for you.
and
Because
then
the
oh, go
white dude don't need legs. So,
ahead. Tell y'all, any white man to do. People think
and
that's a joke, but any white man would do.
an Olympic. This woman is an Olympian. In Paris, she won a bronze medal. Her white dude don't got legs.
And that's crazy work when you think about it. Now, what do you have to do to date a woman that's in the Olympics? You think about that.
Yeah, because look at honestly, right? There's like there's another girl. She graduated from Harvard. Can't think of her name. She won bronze and silver. Her husband is a white dude. Then you look at like all the other do you look at the black girls who are married or whatever, their dudes are world-class athletes also. So to get one of them as a black man, you need to be a world-class athlete. But if you're white, you don't even need legs.
I don't know how you beat that. That's tough right there. I want to say shout out to Elder Blood. He sent this a while ago. I just peeped it and just found it. I believe this is the one that you asked me to read, Elder Blood. But appreciate the Cash App, y'all. He dropped something on the Cash App. Asked me to read this, so that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you for the $5, brother. He says, Roger in chat, have you ever seen men gathered together and each one nut in a condom, then pass it to the next brother to nut in the same used condom, and then to the next? Is this not what black men do with black women?
Oh, come on.
Ooh, Elder Blood. That's kind of rough, Elder Blood.
Roger, can we pause? Can we pause right here for a second?
Okay.
I better never ever hear anybody talk about I have no chill after this statement. For life. I don't want to hear nothing. I ain't saying that nothing as nasty as this.
Sperm factories, bro. Sperm factories.
This is not. I don't want to hear nothing about my little.
Oh man.
Nothing.
Man, I'm glad I wasn't eating. I'm glad I wasn't eating when I read that.
This is wild. That's what I'm gonna say. This is wild. Elder Blood.
I'm impressed though, nigga. I'm impressed though, nigga. That's good. I'm impressed, bro. I'm impressed. I got a lot to learn.
Well, I'm gonna say, y'all be doing this stuff like men in the same room. This too crazy. I was saying it's too crazy for me to be thinking about men being in the same room and all these sexual escapades.
Right? But if you think about it, it is though, right? Because that's what I said to.
I ain't saying you wrong. I'm not saying you wrong.
No, I'm saying if you think about it, it's really close, because when the usual business was on the panel talking about his thing, I was like, oh, you didn't taste thick, nigga, because she definitely sucked off another dude. So
shout out to Afro Mercy. He said, I have to apologize to Hot Sauce for thinking he has no chill after that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna say Elder Blood makes a very strong point. He makes a very strong point. And this is one of the reasons that I actually believe Black men need to start looking at women in a different way. There's a lot of grace that we give to them because we still talk to them in the first place. You're not a virgin and we still talk to you. That's grace right there. You know, now the fact that you got bodies in the tens is one thing. And some of y'all secretly got bodies in the hundreds. Okay. So if we want to be real about that, we just don't be knowing personally how far you went. You know, I will say hearing some of the younger women nowadays answer certain questions about body counts, because I've seen some younger women answer some questions about body counts, and a young lady said she had like 5 bodies. When she's 20 years old, she has 5 bodies, and she think that's not that much. 5 bodies at 20?
Yeah, she said that proudly. They do say that proudly too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, you know,
They say that like it's modest.
yeah.
Roger, that's not much. That's not much. Roger.
For a 20-year-old.
That's the bachelorette party number right here.
I could see if she was 50, like, yeah, you know. Well, I mean, to put that on camera, I'm just saying, you know, it's a lot when you put that on camera, you know. Are you gonna throw away a woman for having 5 bodies? Not necessarily, but I wouldn't be at 20 years old, 5 already at 20. Because I would at some point I gotta ask myself a question about who can't hit it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's kind of young for 5. That's all I'm gonna say. That's kind of young for 5.
Roger,
you know.
Roger.
Yeah.
That's a bachelorette party number right there. That ain't much.
For 20 years old though, man. See, look, my thing is, okay, I can see maybe you got your high school sweetheart, you might have gave him some. Okay. Maybe y'all break up. Heck, maybe even, maybe you was with one guy freshman and sophomore year, and then you switched up, got with a different guy for junior and senior year. But that's only 2 guys. 5 and 20, that sound like we just out here getting it in. That's what it started to sound like to me. We out here getting it in.
That's the first night at the college campus.
I mean, at least give me the context. I had a train ran on me, so unfortunately my number's up a little bit. At least give me some context. 5 and 20, just that sound like a lot for a chick. I'm just saying that just sound like a lot for a chick. Because we supposed to have to do something to get it. We supposed to have to do something. But as I've said before, sisters don't really have a standard. All they require is nothing, and who can't supply nothing. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's real. And shout out to Black Root Strikes. He said, hot sauce ain't ever gonna forget that Olympic sister getting with that legless white man. Should he?
That's diabolical, bro. I mean, look, man, you gotta be able-bodied. If you're gonna do that, you gotta be able-bodied, man. I'm sorry. You gotta be able-bodied because that's what you're communicating. A legless Blade Runner is more valuable than a nigga. That's nasty work.
Now, I would bet money that any black man who try to holler at her is gonna have to be at some extreme level. Not saying it ain't fair because she's an Olympian. That means she's automatically at extreme level herself to be an actual Olympian. But ain't gonna be no pass. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no he just doing okay, brother. Gonna get to talk to her. Now the white man did show up without legs. But the brothers, nah, you can't just be doing well. You gonna have to be doing extreme. It's that simple. Because she's an Olympian, so therefore you got to be doing something at that level. Now you can say something in the business world or something like that, but you're gonna have to be doing something at that level. But that white man, yes, he can show up with no legs. Then people may say, well, he was an Olympian too, but he was in the Paralympics. He wasn't in the Olympics. He's in the Paralympics.
Think about that. Like, you got to wheel this nigga around. I'm sorry.
His pale skins covers
gotta
for
walk
him
him
multiple
around.
sins
You gotta
and
do
imperfections.
you gotta do all this extra stuff with him because he's I don't know the proper word today, but he's challenged. So there's things that he might appreciate. So,
Hot
but
sauce is legit complex about this, man.
I am, man, because it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. It don't
Look,
make no
look, look.
sense.
I done made a lot of jokes about a man with no legs, but let's be realistic. If somebody told you a black woman who is an Olympian, is considering marrying a man with no legs, and you know nothing about what's going on, you would take that as an extremely odd story, and you would have trouble believing it. If that's all she said,
Because they're married now.
Yeah, that's wild.
it's only because when you add he's a white guy, now you believe yeah, that makes sense.
No, what that tells me is that she just truly wants control. She wants 100% control.
Well, I mean, she gets to control what direction they going in a lot of ways. Yeah,
That is a
but
control freak. That's all
to,
that is.
to me, it's just proof that any white man will do. Now, and we got this young lady who's upset that I believe she wasted too much time thinking some white man gonna come save her or somebody was gonna come save her. Because if you fat, I mean, you know what, Toy? I'm gonna ask you something very sensitive.
Go
Okay.
right ahead.
Does a fat woman know what her position is when she's out there in the field, 18 and over? I ain't gonna talk about the kids, but 18 and over. Does she know what her position is when she go out to kick it or have fun or go to a party or whatever the case is, and men are gonna be there? Did she know what her job is?
Knowing and acting like you knowing are two different things.
Good.
That's she definitely knows, but that determination is loudest when she is alone.
Well, I don't know what to say, guys. You know, if you know your obstacles and you refuse to get past your own obstacles, don't blame me later on for it. Okay. I appreciate that fat woman saying what she said, but she said we don't get nothing but what the hoes get. That says to me a lot about the kind of guys she wants to pursue. And for some reason, she didn't think the same guys that the hoes get, she, for some reason, just didn't equate that they're not going to marry her. That's crazy work to me on its own. Okay. Because she called them hoes. And again, it takes a woman a lot more to call a woman a hoe than it takes for us men to call them a hoe. She's saying they hoes. She's saying I get the same guys. Where was you thinking the marriage was gonna come from? Where you, you know what I'm saying? What did you think it was gonna come from? You know, you don't know nan hoe that done got some man to marry her. But hey, it is what it is. But we about to hit that 3-hour mark, so we gonna close out. So I'm gonna ask for a closing statement from you, gentlemen. I'm gonna let Toya go last, okay? Because she got a better voice than y'all. All right, but second being a hoe, any last comment you want to make before we get off here?
It's not that hard to lock a man down. And if your hoe cannot get a man to commit to her, I guess stuck at being a hoe.
All right, Bronk, it's on you. Any last words you want to say?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do. Look how they present themselves. Look at who they run with. Listen to the stories about them. Look at how they behave on social media. Just look at the actions. Don't listen to the words. Because after all those actions, they like to give you a bunch of words. And if you make decisions based off of those words, you're going to screw yourself in the long run. So.
All right. And I'm going to read this from Black Rule real quick before we go. He said, and she is a rather beautiful woman on top of being an all-time great female athlete. No legless black man gets to that level of black women. Shout out to Black Rule Strike. That's a point too. She ain't no super ugly broad or nothing like that. She is a beautiful woman, you know. But as a black man, how you gonna show up legless and you gonna be able to pull one of those? That ain't happening. That is not happening. So shout out to you for Black Rule Strikes for pointing that out. Shout out to you, brother. All right. Last but definitely not least, Toya. What closing words do we have from you?
If you can't employ the ways that Uru speaks about in terms of shutting a woman up, just leave the group chat. There's nothing better than the sweet sound of ignoring a woman. And that's the easiest way to get her up out of your face when she's not giving you what you want. Thanks for having me, Roger.
Thanks for being had. Real talk. Appreciate you, Toya. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you gentlemen as well. Don't think it's just her. I appreciate y'all too, just differently. Okay, just differently. But y'all, it's been a great show. I'm going to say the next time y'all see a young lady crying out like that, keep in mind, she's convinced that we care. And we need to start really showing them that we don't. It is on you that you made it to 30 and no man accepted you. When you gonna fix yourself? Stop looking for me to fix it. That's not a problem I can fix because the problem is actually you. Fix yourself, and then maybe, just maybe, somebody will take you on. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right, and I'm out.
Clock it.